Hey, this is Adam Jensen. I'm a big fan of CrazY Horse Gaming. I didn't ask for this, but I'll check it out.
Howdy ho, everybody, and welcome to the Crazy Horse Eat Free podcast with me, Mr. Murray, and my merry band of misfits.
Except Mike. Round the special table today, we have the return of Liam Bradish.
Hello.
Yo! We also have Tegs and Alex.
Hello.
Hey.
Alex is quite upset, and so's Tegwin at the minute because they only got half a bottle of mayo today. So you might have been a bit of a strop. They might be really angry. They got like a dumper truck full of wedges and it just half a bottle of mayo. So
I'm gonna have to put some in a bowl and just start spooning it in a minute.
Just scrape
I
it.
beg your pardon.
I'm gonna have to stick some in a bowl right now and just start eating it. Just eating through it.
Better.
Just get me through this.
Oh, and also we have a special guest today, personally invited by oneself, the horse with the most. We have from Gamer Kitten and the site that he's going to mention in a minute, Hooksan.
Hello, thank you very much for having me. Pleasure to be here.
No problem at all. And what is the site you're going to mention? And do you want to give any shout outs as well?
Plug, yeah. Xboxmad.net, which has probably already divided the room. It's just a news and review site that we're running now. We're starting to get some preview titles in and getting a bit of traction going now. So we'd love it if people came and checked us out. That'd be fantastic. Xboxmad.net.
It's a great site. I've been on there and good community and the reviews are brilliant. I mean, I've just read your review I read your review yesterday at the time of recording for Max.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a great review.
Thank you.
Yeah,
we try and keep it a bit more tongue-in-cheek. There is a philosophy that long may it last, that we're not going to pander to the studios and everything. We're just going to sort of review it, carry on as if we are just games players and fans, not the sort of traditional journo angle that more and more magazines seem to be taking. So let's hope we can keep that up.
The reviews, to be honest, yeah, a lot of reviews these days have to be tongue. I mean, you look at IGN, and I think theirs is tongue-in-cheek unintentionally.
But then you go along to something like Kotaku, and they kind of money hats is an expression that you'd probably throw around a bit nowadays with the way they're reviewing stuff.
Yeah, it's Grand Theft Auto. It's going to get to 9. It's Call of Duty. It will get a 10. Yeah.
It's a shame, but there's pressures to actually get the games and stuff. So, frankly, we're of the opinion that we do get a few preview copies and everything now, which is really nice. But if we have to review a game 3 days later because we have to buy it ourselves, that's what we'll do, rather than having to promise an 8 in order to get a preview copy.
How long have you been reviewing for?
Me personally, I mean, I used to do bits and bobs for GamerKit and stuff, but properly on this site, I've been doing it for about 4 months now, I think. They've been running it, and then we went live a couple of months ago. But Jez, who's one of the main guys, and Liam, they're the two guys that run the site, they own it, and they've had this in mind for a long time, so they really are powering through.
You've got to try and be constructive because you can get blacklisted. A friend from one of our affiliates who we've mentioned in the past, Playval, he basically battered Never Dead in his review, and was it Konami? I think it was Konami or Capcom who did it. They basically just blacklisted him from getting any other games because he he was brutally honest about it and said it was just a steaming turd on a disc. Yeah, he said, to be honest, he'd probably get the same experience doing one on a disc.
But that's what the gamers need to hear, isn't it? Because these people, if we're going to spend 40 quid on a game, 50 quid on a game now, you want to go and get a few opinions on it first. You don't want to get let down by that.
Honest opinions.
Yeah. Remember your review of GTA, Liam?
Yeah. What did I give? Was it 8 out of 10?
Something like that. But you said it was kind of. You want to remind us what you said?
Can't remember. I think I said it weren't as great as what people were making out it was. Just living on the brand name, weren't it? It's if you looked at games like Sleeping Dogs, stuff like that, it was never that much better. It didn't take things to a whole new level like they promised.
Mm. And that is what people want to hear. That's what will keep people coming back to you if they trust your opinion on it. I mean, one of the big things I do on our site is not just so much the reviews. I also do a lot of the feature pieces and opinion pieces. And I did a very controversial one on EA recently, which started saying, they used to be awesome. Look at all these amazing titles they used to do, and what the hell's happened to them now? But I think it was quite balanced. But no one that reads that from EA is going to be in love with this. Put it that
Well,
way.
they were voted the worst company for 2 years in running, weren't they?
That did get mentioned in the article. Yep.
Yeah. So before we get sued by EA, you'll have to, EA will probably shut us down, or you'll have to pay 69p per minute to listen to this podcast, or £2.99 to listen to 10 minutes of it, and then pay the rest in microtransactions. What has everybody been playing? We'll start off with our guest, Hooky. What have you been playing, mate?
What have I been playing? Max, for that review. That was great. Max and the Cursed Brotherhood, which I'm sad to admit I wouldn't have played until it came free with Games with Gold, and what a mistake that was. Wonderful game. And a bit of Watch Dogs as well.
Nice. How are you finding them both?
Max was awesome. Just absolutely brilliant. I mean, it's like playing a Pixar cartoon. I can't believe this game didn't get more press, honestly. There's a few nagging problems with it in the controls and stuff, but it really plays wonderfully, and it was just a beautiful experience to go through. It's one of those games.
It's a great visual treat.
Yeah, and it's one of those ones that you just remember afterwards. You really just enjoy it from start to finish. And Watch Dogs, I've got to say, I was really disappointed with. It wasn't much different to what I expected, and yet I was still disappointed. It's just, it was hyped up, and I don't believe it was by Ubisoft, in fairness. It was hyped up by the fans to be this amazing next step open world hackathon, and it really is just Assassin's Creed with mobile phones.
Supposedly the story's quite short as well, because people on Instagram were I was looking at when I went on the hashtag of Watch Dogs, just browsing. It was like a couple of days later, a few days after release, people were like already posting the credits up. I mean, I know that a game like that, like Assassin's Creed as well, isn't meant to be just one you finish in 10 hours and then or 15 hours. Like the IGN review of it said, they'd been playing it for like 40 hours and they hadn't even scratched the surface of what to do. And, basically they were only about maybe 30% into the game.
Yes and no. I mean, that is true. There is a lot to do. The world is heavily populated and there is a mission around every corner. But Ubi have kind of lost the plot a bit, in my very humble opinion, on what constitutes longevity, because they've replaced the ability to have a lot of different varied experiences with having to repeat the same experience 40 odd times. For example, the different things you have to do around the map. You have to unlock towers, which are very similar to the old sync points in the Assassin's Creed games that you'd climb up and unlock the. It was like that. Them. Yeah, exactly. Well, there's now 20 of those. There's instead of assassin contracts, there's driving contracts where you've got to hail someone and knock them down. There's 30 of those. There's 40 of crimes you have to stop. 20 of the CCTV cameras you have to hack into people's bedrooms. And it would have been great if they had 5 of each of those, but actually it becomes a chore after 10 or so of each. And
like the feathers on Assassin's Creed and things, Templar flags. So obviously they're going to do a sequel because it's going to be a franchise. What are you hoping that they're going to improve upon in the sequel? What would you like to see added or built upon?
Oh, it's an interesting question. I'd like to see it be less automatic. A lot of people I know are now calling it a press B simulator because for all of the technical wonderment of using your phone to hack this, that, and the other, what you're really doing is looking at an object and pressing B, and that's context sensitive. That'll open a door. That'll hack a camera. That'll open a bridge.
Or if you're on Connect, you just shout to open the door.
Exactly. And it would be nice to see them perhaps make that a bit more complicated. Feel like you're achieving a bit more when you're involved, and just a bit more variety. Really, I think that the game needs to give more regular treats to the player rather than feeling like you're trolling through hundreds of missions just to get 10 gamer points or whatever your
Mm.
chosen platform gives you.
That's a shame. That I mean, I know Liam loves his gamer score, but
Mike.
hey, you're competing with him, or you
No.
were.
No. It's too far ahead now. It's not happening.
You remember the Aesop fable though about the tortoise and the hare?
Yeah. I think he's just hit 104,000 there. It's crazy. So
That is quite a decent gamer score.
yeah,
When he scores, sorry, go on.
it is an achievement whore.
Yeah. Yeah,
There's two
there's a
ways to
lot.
play games, isn't there? There really is.
Yeah.
You play them for the achievements or you don't. And I mean, I don't know if any of you guys know Darth Badger.
Yep.
His gamer score is now over 300,000.
Jesus.
Yeah.
But
He's a good
that's a man
guy,
who dedicated.
yeah.
Oh, he's a wonderful bloke. Oh, absolute top bloke.
Oh yeah.
But he is a man who plays for his achievements. You know.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about him on a couple of podcasts ago. Yeah, he's because we were talking about Stallion as well. He reached the billion game score, which I still don't think is legit. It's neither does Liam. Yeah, Badger's played some shite, but you know, no, he'll admit it himself. But
Oh, yeah,
he has put his graft in. You know, and I can't give him enough credit. You know, he's played a lot of games, but the games like Blur, which he'll still go back to even after like 1000 G in it and things like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's been, you know, I mean, he got a free Xbox One for all his hard work. Like we talked about it before the Christmas podcast. We're saying about achievement hoards. Like it's the great things achievements for kind of the adding. They're giving you a bit of an extra, you know, addition to get you squeezing more of a game. It's kind of like extras on a movie, you know, like the outtakes and making ofs and things like that. But I mean. When it comes to that point where if you're having to sit there for like hours and hours and hours just to try and get an ultra hard achievement, difficulty setting achievement, killing 5,000 ninjas while standing on your head using a wooden spoon, you know, just for 10G, that takes the fun out of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the perfect example for me is the two games that I've been playing. Something like Max, I've just 100%ed. It's only the fourth game I've ever 100%ed, despite how much I play Xbox. Because they were fun challenges to go after. They were difficult, but they weren't impossible, and they took me a week. Whereas Watch Dogs, I'm not going to bother doing 45 car runs and 100 telephone poles and all that sort of thing. I don't have the patience for it, you know.
No, I agree. I know what you mean. It's kind of you get the game for, you know, for what it is, and if there's a few achievements you know you can get if you take a little bit longer, then so be it. I mean, do you guys kind of play? Do you kind of try and squeeze more out of a game with achievements, or?
I used to like be more bothered about achievements, but not so much anymore. I mean, I like achievements that are either fun or try and make me play a game in a different way, but I don't think about achievements that much anymore.
I'm just not that skilled a gamer. I'm just like, if I get an achievement for just loading a game, that's about it. That's not as much as I'm gonna get.
Well, I know a guy, Gablan, who a few of you might know, who made a really interesting point about achievements. What he said was he really likes the achievements that encourage you to play in a different way, like you guys were just saying there.
Yeah.
What he hates is the achievements that pit you against your own team. Like, for example, in Titanfall, there's a couple, you've got to be the one to kill all the pilots before they get away. Or, you know, ones where you have to collect all the weapons, get all the kills, something that actually encourages you to be playing against the rest of your team.
Yeah.
Those just don't really sit right to me.
Multiplayer achievements have always been a bit of a kind of sore point as well, though, with people. Like they kind of, a lot of them feel shoehorned in, like Tomb Raider, for example. Great multiplayer, but
I was gonna say that actually.
I hate achievements that have been put on really like games that are either have multiplayer that's go die really fast.
Yeah, like
Just-
when they shut down servers.
Or because I can't get them anymore.
Yeah. There's some
It's-
even ones that aren't even patched as well in some games that they still need to, or they've been meaning to patch. Yeah, and it's annoying. I mean, the games with gold is great. You know, there's some great games on there, and it's kind of, but some of them, like Darksiders 2, there's one where you're never going to be able to get now because THQ don't exist anymore. Although we'll get onto it in the podcast about later on about how they a new company have actually going to start using their name. But yeah, it's I know what you mean. It's kind of like Badge. He plays a lot of games, but he puts the graft in and he gets everything out of the games. So he has his 300,000 gamer score. He's put the graft in. He's not just played like several easy 1000 G games just to do it. He has genuinely played a lot of great games as well. Liam, do you try and get more out of a game with achievements?
I had a phase where I was doing that, but these days I can't be asked.
Are you going to pick up? Sorry, go on.
There's just that much to play. There's just no time to do that. Once you've finished the game, it's back on the shelf, done with it.
Do you guys ever use achievement guides like True Achievements and XboxAchievements.com?
Yes, I'm gonna name and shame. I do. I'm on True Achievements because it's nice to be able to. I don't use it to worrying about the alternate score that they give you and all that, but it's a nice way to gauge what games you might be able to get closer to, what games you might be able to 100%. Just keeping track, yeah.
It's great that they've added them. Like I say, it's kind of like extras on a movie, but like you say, some obviously if you can get like Max and things like that. It was the same with Low Cost Cycle a few months back when it came out. It was like that was an easy 400G, but it was brilliant. It was great getting them. Are you going to pick up Max in the gold games with gold, Liam, or have you got it on your Xbox One?
I'll probably download it at some point. Just getting around to it, really.
What games have you got? I notice you've got an Xbox One. What are you playing on it? What games are you playing at the moment as well as that?
Recently, I've been playing, give me a second here, Super Ultra Dead Rising 3 Arcade Remix Hyper Edition.
I watched the video of that.
Plus Alpha.
Outstanding.
It's a good game as well. If you ain't got it, I'd definitely recommend it.
I saw a video of it this morning. Funnily enough, it just kind of looks crazy. Just kind of it's like Dead Rising, but it seems like it's not like a slog where you kind of like the Dead Rising games. It takes ages to get through loads of zombies. This seems kind of like zombie bowling and things like that. It looks crazy.
Yeah, the good thing as well, you don't need to play the main story to get into this. You can just jump straight into it. It's like its own standalone game.
And if I'm right, they've upped the co-op to 4-player with it as well.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, it's
nice.
It's a bargain as well for £8.
Wow.
I think Happy was playing it as well, or he's going to get it.
Yeah, it's I think there's 12 characters on it, and if you're wanting to unlock them all, you're probably looking at about 6 hours gameplay. It's not too bad.
Nice.
Yeah.
What else are you playing?
Mario Kart.
Nice.
Don't laugh at me.
I'm not laughing. I really want to play Mario. I'm with Huxan and Tegs and Alex. I want to play Mario Kart 8.
It's definitely the best Mario Kart that's been released.
Until the next one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But it's worth buying a Wii U just for that.
I'm tempted as well because of Zelda as well that's coming out and things like that. Yeah, it's like Huxon was saying, it's definitely there's a lot of great games coming out for it. I admit, me and Mike have laughed at it in past podcasts, but I'll take back what the thing is, Nintendo. They're all for innovation. They're all, they don't create a console that's going to try and compete. They're going to try and create a console that's fun, that people are going to enjoy. And, and it's like the Nintendo fans aren't fanboys. I'm not saying all Microsoft and Sony fans are, far from it, but you don't get flame wars with Nintendo fans.
No, that's true. I agree with that. But the problem I've always had with Nintendo, and this is a problem that's accompanied by the fact I've had every Nintendo console and handheld until the Wii U, is it's always with them quality, not quantity. And it's great quality. There's no two ways about that. That new Zelda looks lush. The new Mario Kart, best one yet. But think about it, ever since the GameCube and, the N64 even, had amazing games, but not a lot of them. Yeah, it never had the massive collection of games there. You had to wait a few months per decent title.
That's the only frustrating thing. Yeah, you don't seem to get a lot of AAA titles on the Wii U. And they seem to get the raw deal. Like, for example, Batman Arkham Origins, they haven't got the DLC. That apparently, they're not getting the DLC for Arkham Origins and things like that. Whereas the consoles are. So a lot of people have kind of accused, obviously Nintendo of being left behind, forgotten about by some of the bigger developers. Like you'll never see a Grand Theft Auto game on the Wii U, or you'll never see a top Call of Duty game that looks as good as the Xbox One and the PS4 versions, so on. But like you say, it is about kind of the Metroid and the Zelda, as we've said in the past, and Mario, etc. And people love that. People like you mentioned yourself, you've grown up with the consoles, the SNES, the GameCube, the N64, and you know that the thing is, they don't just churn out. It's like the Sonic. We've talked about Sonic in the past. Sonic games have gone downhill because Sega they've no innovation with it. Colors was a good game, and granted, and what was the one? Generations was a good game, but the problem was that Generations was just rehashes. It wasn't didn't feel like a new Sonic game. And, Adventure 2, they were god-awful ports on XBLA. Whereas the Mario games have been amazing over the years. Galaxy 2, Super Mario Sunshine, etc.
And let's not forget one of the best games to ever play when you've got friends around, Mario Party.
Yes.
Just
Smash
awesome.
Brothers as well.
Mm-hmm.
And while we're on the subject, sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say, I know it's the war cry of the Xbox owner at the moment, but graphics don't make the game. It's the Nintendo might be slightly less powered, but they've made up for it every single time. They've got some of the best games out there.
Definitely. I mean, you're a Wii U owner, Liam. You want to put your 5 cents in, 10 cents in?
Well, it's going on the fact that graphics don't make the best games. I'd say more. Well, I know the Mario Kart game is probably one of the best looking games I've seen so far. It's the textures and some of the stuff that goes off on it is crazy. I'm sure it'd run on Xbox One and PS4 and that. But I mean, if you look at the Zelda game that got announced, it's mouth-watering how good it does look.
Now they do kind of, while the Nintendo textures don't, like you say, it's not about the graphics. They don't look as sharp as Microsoft and Sony's. The games are just like Hudson said, it's a visual treat for the eyes. The bright, the vibrant, the colourful, they stand out. You can still get lost in a Mario game just like you could in say Grand Theft Auto or Watch Dogs. And things like that, because it's just so much going on. I mean, the Galaxy games on the Wii were just unbelievable, and they were some of the best games of the last generation. They were superb. Did any of you guys play the Galaxy games?
Yeah, they were brilliant.
I avoided them just because I've never been a huge sort of platformer fan. The rule.
Oh, you missed out. They are beautiful. Even with the Wii U, with the Wiimote, they still handled amazingly. They handled just as perfect as Mario 64. But
that's a pretty big deal when you consider how awesome the N64 controller was as well.
It was fiddly though, and that stick used to break or stick a lot. It was infuriating.
1080 snowboarding was the death of many a controller.
Yeah, I used to love the WWF games on the N64 as well. The entrances, because they were on a cartridge and not a disc, the entrances were god awful. Did you play them, Liam?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Although No Mercy is still considered one of the greatest WWF games ever.
I was playing that yesterday. It still holds up now.
It's quite sluggish, but it's what you want. It's kind of, like, I mean, WWE 2K15 was announced at E3, and it's like I'm not massively excited about it. It's like it's going to be another one that'll last a couple of months and then it'll get traded. But we'll talk more about E3 in a moment. What about yourselves, Tegs and Alex? What have you been playing?
Cool.
Yeah. Well, we've been packing up recently, so like our consoles and everything's gone at the moment. So it's been pretty dire here. But like apart a bit because of that, I think I've been playing more stuff on my end, like on my phone, stuff like that. Just squeezing stuff in, but nothing major.
I've been playing.
You've been playing.
What other Dark Souls, and I've finally got around to playing Braid.
Oh, beautiful.
Which is a very beautiful game. And the guy who made it seems like a very interesting fellow as well.
Yeah, it's
Jonathan Blow.
Yeah. As you love the dishwasher, Charlie Murder's currently free. We need to do some co-op on that.
Yeah, I want to download that. I can't wait to get back to my Xbox and
yeah,
because I love the people who make dishwasher. I can't remember the
Scar
names.
Studios.
Yeah, that's it.
Did you ever play them, Hooky?
No, I can't. I've been something of a elitist. Really wrongly, I've found out recently. I've stuck to AAA titles too much, and I've avoided way too many indies and arcade titles. And that's something I'm redressing now, but better late than never.
Oh yeah, there's so many gems on the 360 that you've missed out on. Like I said, the dishwasher games, Charlie Murder. It's free. Give it a go. It's a side-scrolling kind of beat 'em up, but it's got a gritty. How would you describe the visual style, Alex? It's kind of similar to the dishwasher. It's kind of
It's kind of a gritty, kind of. I want to say like
grungy style, yeah.
Yeah, feel to it, but it kind of suits it. It makes it stand out a bit for me.
Combos and everything, it plays so well. It can be, it's a bit of a button masher, but it doesn't take away from any of them. They're really kind of brutal. They do test you.
Awesome. It sounds like the sort of thing I could get into.
Yeah, give the trials a go. Like I say, Charlie Murder's free until the 30th, along with Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition, which we should get some co-op on that. Sorry, not co-op. Some battles going on that, but
it's going to be a very boring video if you can do co-op on Street Fighter.
Kind of walking alongside each other like Final Fight.
We all get along.
Have you not been playing Dark Souls? I know, Alex, you've been playing it. Which will, how are you getting on with it?
After a very frustrating 3-4 hours, after that I'm loving it. Like I see death as a learning curve. I learn from it, and there's a lot to love there, and quite a nice world that I want to discover. And
yeah, it's beautiful.
It's a beautiful game. I just love the challenge it kind of offers. Actually, once I got used to the systems, I found it really fun. And just trying to progress is really kind of rewarding.
Yeah, it's like Liam, you said in the past. If you take your time with it, it's a great game.
But the first few hours, though, I was like just so angry with it. Like, it's.
I think that's something that would prevent me from playing it, though. I don't think I've got the attention span for that. Like when I was watching you play, I love watching Alex, but it just takes ages to get through every single area.
Yeah,
you really need to level up all the time. It's like.
But now it's a challenge. I have to finish it now.
Yeah.
I'm too far into
it. And you
it.
feel like you've achieved it.
Yeah.
I think you'll probably finish it before Liam, actually, because he's still not done his Let's Play videos, completed them yet.
I rage quit. Yep.
So they're words of encouragement, Alex. No pressure.
I remember my most endearing memory of Dark Souls was I'd managed to take out some big, huge boss quite early on, but this massive guy with a big two-handed sword, bigger than my whole character.
You said.
Yeah, managed to take him out. I was really happy with it, really pleased with myself. Walking along, found a small cliffside path, wandering along this path, still gleaming in my glory and checking out my loot. And a skeleton just drops from above me and kicks me straight off the ledge. I didn't even have time to react. And I just remember thinking, yeah, it's that sort of game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like you are.
Apparently, rolling is your friend. Bronzy, Man of Bronze, he's basically, he said rolling around, getting behind enemies and killing them from behind is especially the bosses, is your friend. Kind of, that's the good tactic.
If you can keep behind bosses and just keep moving around them, they tend to like circle with you. So you kind of just stuck behind them for the rest of the boss battle and then just keep stabbing them to the dead. And I think when you're rolling, you're kind of immune to some attacks, apparently.
Hmm.
So,
Early on, one of my big tactics was to try and induce an embolism by just making them run after me for hours and hours on end, but it didn't seem to get me very far.
Because they do have stamina, don't they?
yeah,
They
have
do, alarmingly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I accidentally went the wrong way when I first started, and I ended up fighting some ghosts for about 2 hours. Horrible, horrible ghosts. And
Yeah,
then
like
discovered there was-
when you had nothing that you
yeah,
needed
apparently
to
it's
defeat
like one of
them.
the hardest patch you can go, and it's yeah.
Apparently, the sequel redresses the issue of respawning enemies. Have you been playing it, Liam?
Yeah, I've completed it. It's a lot easier. It's definitely more forgiving to the casual player than the other one. But it's I think that there's a new game plus mode as well, and that's meant to be 5 times harder than the original game.
Shit.
I've not tried that yet. I daren't.
Go on, let's play. Do it. Do a let's play, please.
We'll see. We'll see.
Are you gonna get that eventually, Alex?
Hopefully. Maybe. No, I'll complete it once and that's it. I'll put it down. It's done. And I actually find respawning enemies. I actually quite like that they respawn some of the enemies.
You can farm
because I just
souls,
farm
can't you?
them for souls. Yeah, and level up.
But on number 2, if the enemies aren't respawning, you can burn some at the bonfire that makes them come back, but they're twice as strong though.
Oh, okay.
So.
I'll probably leave them dead then.
Yeah.
Nice. Are there any kind of current releases that you're looking forward to? You're going to get in the future? I mean, I'm still interested in Watch Dogs. Is it interested you guys?
Yeah.
I'm kind of not. I wasn't excited when it was announced. Then I got a bit excited for it, and now I'm just not that fussed about it. Like,
Yeah, I'm confused because like when it was first announced, I was super excited for everything that was promising, and I thought I was really excited talking to people about it. But then like everyone was like, "I know it's not getting the reviews I thought it would," and people seeming to be quite disappointed by it. So,
there's hooks on here as well, yeah. I know I've seen you with your Titanfall TL. Obviously, you're gonna get that. Are you waiting to get a next gen console before you get that?
me? Oh,
yeah.
Titanfall.
Yeah, I've seen you rocking your Titanfall tee.
Oh
Yeah.
yes. I really, really want to play Titanfall, but I don't know because I'm not that so much into multiplayer gaming anymore. So if I get on Xbox One, I would get it. Like,
Care to recommend it, Dave?
It's good. It's a great fun game. It's the new Halo in terms of having a Friday night blast. It's not world changing in any sense. It's there was a lot of hype put into that. I think this generation is the generation for overly hyping everything. But it's stunningly well animated. It's quick. It's easy to get into. Very rewarding. I'd definitely suggest if you're looking for a multiplayer mashup, it's one of the best ones out there. Definitely. Just don't expect a single player campaign.
Yeah, apparently the sequel's supposed to be coming to the PlayStation 4 as well.
Rumours and rumours, yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon it almost definitely will, because what happened was the original went to Xbox because Xbox got in with Respawn at an early stage of development and guaranteed exclusivity. But then EA came and bought it Respawn, and since when have EA ever done a console exclusive?
yeah. I also think would focusing when they developed it, would focusing on one platform actually help them to reduce the bugs and stuff in it to help them make a better game?
Without doubt. And it'll just help maximize because especially the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. Let's take as the two examples. Yes, they can do very similar things, but they still do them in very different ways. The architecture is still quite far apart in the way the two have been put together.
Yeah.
If you're going to be making a game exclusively for one, you are going to make a better game. There's just no way to deny that.
Do you think Microsoft need to step up the game though this time around with, as you talk about exclusives? Do do you think they really, really need to step up the game this time? Because the PlayStation 3 had the better exclusives. I mean, we had, there was the Mass Effect games and the BioShock games, and they eventually went to the PlayStation 3. So all there really was left was Fable, to be honest.
Halo, Gears of
Halo.
War.
Well, yeah, Gears of War was good. Judgment wasn't so great.
Mm.
Yeah, Halo's kind of a niche market though.
Left 4 Dead 1 and 2.
Weren't Left 4 Dead on the PlayStation?
Nope.
Were they not?
Nope.
Not the first one.
The second one weren't either, I don't think.
Was it not? I thought the second one was.
No.
Yeah, I could have sworn I'd seen it in the little plastic see-through box at game.
PC and Xbox only.
Yeah, that's the thing, because what Xbox has is exclusives over Sony. What it doesn't have is console exclusives. A lot of the exclusives are, because of Windows, they're for Xbox and PC.
Yeah.
So it kind of shakes things up a bit, doesn't it?
You talk about exclusives on now, a lot of it is mainly just DLC, timed DLC. That's usually kind of it's like the PlayStation 4 version of Batman Arkham Knight is getting the Scarecrow DLC first, or exclusive. They say exclusive, but it'll come to the Xbox One.
Of course.
I love
No, go on. Sorry, you go ahead.
I was gonna say I love watching Microsoft conferences just for like the way they carefully word when they're saying something's exclusive, like this timed console exclusive of this is the DLC.
I can't believe the amount
really...
of that was happening this year. There was a lot of that going on both sides.
When you just hear the word exclusive and then you hear all the small print and it's like, oh gosh, no.
Was it during the PlayStation one that had that? Oh, that everything's they were on about free-to-play games, and then they played the video, and on it said some content you may have to pay for. That was
it's like you just
that was
voided everything
hilarious.
you've just said. It's really funny.
Well, it's microtransactions. You kind of have that's basically made its way into gaming. We've talked about it a lot. What are your views on microtransactions? We had a bit of a rant, on Gamer Kitten recently. Hooky joined in the rant as well.
I'm always up for a good rant, mate.
Yeah. So what? Yeah. Go on. We'll discuss it again. It's always nice to have, because obviously Tegs and Alex haven't given their 10 cents worth as well. And obviously for those who haven't read it on Gamer Kitten, do you want to both go ahead, all three of you, even Liam as well, and talk about your views on microtransactions? It's a controversial subject, we know, but.
Well, I personally feel like I get that developers need to make money, especially with the second-hand market and stuff like that. They might need to find other ways of making money. Yeah. But I think it depends on how much content is available through microtransactions. Like, if it's just a few things that you don't actually need to play the game, I'm fine with that. But if it's actual content that I really want to use and play, I'm having to pay extra for that annoys me quite a lot.
No, I agree. I mean, I'm playing. Don't judge me, Tegs, but I'm playing Angry Birds Epic at the minute, and you don't need to. Yeah, it's a good game. It's an RPG.
Okay. Haven't had to turn to like my mobile for gaming now. Like I can allow that. I'll allow it, fam.
Thank you. I'm glad. Thank you. Great one. But yeah, going back, it's like if you're gonna have, like we said in the past, you're gonna have one business model or the other. You don't release a game for £50 and then say, right, here's like Dead Space 3 had that, and it was like you're charging me to get additional pets, to use guns. What? Like Battlefield, which Hooky will probably get onto in a minute, because that's infuriated him a lot with Battlefield 4. But anyway, as you were saying.
It's all the EA games, and I'll tell you what, Battlefield's not even the worst experience by a long shot. The worst experience I've had with microtransactions is unsurprisingly EA, but it was PGA Tour 13. I love the PGA Tour games.
Plants vs Zombies.
No, that was all right actually. I was surprised that was not play to win. I was actually stunned there weren't even microtransactions for the first 2 months of that game. I was pleasantly surprised for that one. But no, I played PGA Tour, and I'm used to having some microtransactions. You know, it's an EA game, and we used to call them Tiger Woods. Now it's just PGA Tour.
Yeah. Well, they can't use his name anymore.
Yeah, exactly. But these are games that have always had microtransactions. You can buff your stats, you could buy better equipment, and of course, they sold courses for some obscene price, like £6 or £7 per course. But you didn't have to, you could just ignore them Just get on with it. Not a problem. Until 13. And I say that through gritted teeth. Till 13. Because I was playing that game quite happily, went through the career mode. On my 5th round of the career mode, something unprecedented happened. A message popped up that said, "You don't have the required content to play this course. Would you like to buy it now?" On the single-player campaign, I couldn't carry on. I had to either skip the tournament or buy extra content.
Oh my goodness.
See, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right?
It's one business model or the other, yeah.
Yeah. But having said that, I think both can coexist. And I'm going to jump the fence for a minute here. One game that worked really well was DC Universe Online. I don't know if any of you guys have played that. It's on the
No.
PlayStation. It's ostensibly it's free to play. It's an MMORPG in the style of Warcraft, all those sorts of things. Make your character run around. So you can do raids, you can do instances, the usual stuff. But it had this really nice marketing model. It's free to play just to get into, and you're going to have very slow progress, but if you want, you can just play free. Or you can pay to get a bit of extra money for your character, a few extra items, or some specific DLC, and it's pay as you go. If you want to get a bit of a boost to help you get along the way, you can pay it. But because the game's free to begin with, you don't mind so much paying £2 or £3 towards it when you're essentially getting a £40 game for free anyway. Otherwise, you can do a second model, which is you pay a subscription charge, and for as long as you're paying the £5 a month, you get free money per month, and you get unlimited access to all the DLC packs. But that access ends when you end your subscription. And that was quite a nice way to do it, I thought, because it meant that you could just spend as little or as much as you wanted to.
It's a fair point. Yeah, you kind of, what was it, the Old Republic? That was a similar kind of, the big subscription fee. I know a lot of people weren't happy with that, but the game they got with that, it was like you paid the subscription fee and you got a big game, and there was no little transactions in that. What you paid for is what you got.
They put that model with the Elder Scrolls Online, haven't they? That's the most recent. Of that model,
Not for console gamers. That's been delayed again.
I don't know how people have been getting on with that. I've not heard anything for.
Meg Simatic, Megan Connolly, Rafflecopter Evo, his fiance has been playing it a lot, and on the PC, and she's been loving it.
Yeah,
she's really, really into it. So when it works, it's great. It's really good fun. It's and it does feel like an Elder Scrolls game. There's been a lot of controversy. I mean, to be honest, obviously Bethesda are working on ironing out all the bugs. It's gonna be, it's kind of like it's still really in its beta stages. To be honest, it's only just still taking its kind of first steps out of that, or so. It's a big kind of PC game. There's gonna be problems with it, but yeah, it's supposed to be excellent if you're a huge kind of Bethesda and fan. But speaking of Bethesda, I mean, one game that a lot of people were surprised were left out was Fallout 4. There were rumors that was going to be announced at E3.
I mean, they said, I can't remember which person from Bethesda said it, but they said it wasn't going to be there this year. They're working on it. I think they're definitely working on it. It's Bethesda. It take time, these games, and it'll be worth it. Hopefully next year.
Because they don't hire Gabe Newell.
Yeah.
It's not number 3, so I wouldn't worry too much.
Yeah, true. True.
I think also you've got to remember, just occasionally, some games, especially if they're not first-party titles, are too big to announce at E3. Sometimes they want to do an announcement all to itself.
Yeah.
And E3, your title can end up getting lost in the maelstrom of the 50 other titles it was announced with. So there might be an element of that.
That happened with Doom at E3. They're going to show off Doom at QuakeCon, the new one. But it essentially slightly teased at E3, but they decided to delay the reveal until QuakeCon because it'll essentially have its own, a lot more room for getting people excited than getting lost at E3.
Are you a Fallout fan, Liam and Dave?
Yeah, I've played the number 3 to death on PC and 360. Had all the DLC on that.
Likewise, yeah, both the Elder Scrolls titles and the Fallout titles. Big Bethesda fan. Along with BioWare, they're probably some of my favourite game makers, definitely.
They need to release Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2 HD.
Oh, the dream. That would be amazing. Of
Yeah.
course, BioWare only did number 1, and it was... Oh, someone help me out. A different company that did number 2, whose name escapes me at the moment. That interestingly, I did have a bit of a Twitter chat with AC Bongos about that a while ago.
Graham Boyd.
Yep, that's the man, the guy that was at E3 for Microsoft.
Yep.
The British PR guru. And he said it had quite a funny response to it. I'd asked him about that and some other games. In fact, specifically, I'd asked him about that and Jade Empire, which was the martial arts one, a role-playing game, similar style, also done by BioWare. And I said, any chance we could see these coming back? And his exact response was, that'd be interesting, and you're not the first person to ask, but I don't know if we even still have the licenses. So I think that's going to be the big issue for those sort of games at the moment.
Obsidian did.
That's it, yes. Good call,
yeah.
Well done.
They also did the recent South Park, The Stick of Truth, which is brilliant. Have you not played that, Hook?
No, I haven't. Unfortunately, just because there's been so much to play, I've forsaken my 360 too much recently in favour of the old Xbox One. But I do need to get back because there's many good titles, and that's chief among them. That I need to give a go on.
Yeah, cause it's a shame. To be honest, it seems like Microsoft have neglected their 360 as well, like Alex was saying, at E3. Do you guys still think there's life in the 360?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, goodness, yeah.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, Bungie recently said, with Destiny on the 360, they said it's still got a lot of room for powering games and still a lot to offer in terms of what it can do. So I'd like to see it still supported for at least another year or two.
Yeah.
And if you look at it behind the scenes, there's no sign of it slowing up. There's still massive amounts of multiplats coming out that are both last gen and new gen. You've got games still being made exclusively for it. Say the new Assassin's Creed, there's Unity coming out on next gen, but Comet's coming, Comet's coming out on PS3 and Xbox 360. And even the big titles, Titanfall made its way to 360. The problem isn't that the software's not there. The problem is that the advertising's not there. They're just not supporting it from a PR standpoint anymore.
Yeah.
To be honest, though, with all the controversy with Watch Dogs, I'm not surprised if the 360 version looks as good as the Xbox One version. So anyway, we're all here talking about E3. What has stood out for you all? Tegs, Alex, I know you're going to mention a certain game by Ubisoft that isn't Watch Dogs. Go.
Division? Wait, is it Division? Division.
What? I'm thinking, what are you on about?
Division? Ubisoft Division?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're really excited for it.
I'm only excited about Assassin's Creed.
Are you only excited about Assassin's Creed? Oh, Assassin's Creed. Yeah, Assassin's Creed looks really cool.
Yeah.
I forgot.
I was just looking at him like, what?
Yeah,
What?
Assassin's Creed looks really, really
The
cool.
thing I've watched like 50 times.
Literally, how many times have you watched a trailer now? It was
Me?
17 a few days ago.
Yeah, 17. I just stopped counting after that. I'm sorry. I had to look through my history to count how many times I've visited that
The
page.
French Revolution setting is so good for that game.
It's brilliant.
I just love how not just how it looks, but also how it's used. With the mobs when they kill the guards, and then the mob rushes into the palace.
Yeah, they just leave
That
it
was
to
really
it to
cool.
the environment to deal with.
And
I
the
love it.
4-player co-op is going to be great.
Oh goodness, yeah.
Anything else that stood out for you?
Oh well, No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky.
Straight away. We
That was
saw that.
so impressive.
We saw that announced at VGX last year.
Man, have you seen No Man's Sky?
I've read up. I've done a little bit of a read up about it. Yeah.
Just go and watch the trailer for it.
Yeah.
And essentially, it's huge. They say it's infinite, like galaxy that you can explore or the universe.
Yeah, because it's procedurally
But it's developed by
generated.
4 people.
Yeah.
It's an indie studio, and
Hello Games. It's only 4 men, 4 dudes.
Hey, that's not a bad thing because Dustin Elysian Tale was only developed by 1 man, and it turned out to be one of the best games.
It just looks like a AAA game, and it's
it just looks amazing.
You just get to explore these really well-crafted planets.
Well, they're saying every player is going to start out on their own planet, and it's going to be completely unique to any other planet in the system.
Nice.
And they just get to go around and discover new things, and it doesn't look like there are any particular loading issues either. In the trailer that he showed,
Oh yeah,
they
you
started
can
off on a
fly
planet.
between planets
I
with
know,
no loading
screens. It was
which is
incredible.
really cool.
So
Other than
it's-
that, I think new Tomb Raider. That was.
Yeah.
and that's apparently coming to the 360 as well.
Oh, okay.
Sweet.
I think also I saw when they were doing not on the stage demos itself, but afterwards, Homefront: The Revolution, some gameplay footage for that, and that looked really cool as well.
And the Order as well, that looks pretty good. 1886.
Yeah, I'm quite excited for that because I like the setting. I think it's got an overuse of. I don't know about replayability because it's got an overuse of cinematic sequences. And
It was really funny when the trailer for the Order came on because we were sitting there watching. He just finished speaking, and then they went straight into the trailer, and we were looking at the start of it, going, "Wow!" And then Alex just went, "This really looks like the Order." I was like, "Oh my god, it does!" Like they've just ripped off the Order, and then it was just really awkward.
I think also Bloodborne as well is. Having just played Dark Souls, I'm really excited for Bloodborne because you get a gun in it, and that's always a good thing.
I want to see more on Assassin's Creed Comet as well. What's going to happen with that? Because obviously Unity was the big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, they really didn't say anything about Comet at all, have they?
No.
She's kind of like.
Does anyone know what the setting is? Because I haven't even heard that.
I've heard nothing other than like the name. I've heard nothing on it.
Maybe they're holding that back till Gamescom, but they usually don't go there. Obviously, another one of the, well, I say major announcements, which wasn't a shock, was crime, car stealing, big city exploring, free guy playing number 5 by Rockstar, which was announced for the new consoles. Are you going to get it again?
Not excited by it at all.
I will get it again. I will get it again. I will play the hell out of that campaign again from start to finish. I love that game.
The trailer looked amazing, I will admit, but yeah, there's nothing
new.
There's nothing new, apart from just new texture pop-ins and is that it?
Like I loved the game. I absolutely loved it when I play it, and I'll happily jump back into it. But I wouldn't buy it again just for the visuals. But I saw today a comparison video where they said they've got like extra wildlife they can put on and cars and stuff. And that's quite cool. But
bunny rabbits must spend £50.
If we could have the same sort of online but without the glitches, if it was working properly and there was enough people like there was when the original one came out, if you could have that sort of densely populated online experience on the next gen, I think that would be amazing. It's still one of the best games out there for online, in my opinion.
It is if you've got friends that are playing it with you. It's awful if you haven't. It's just boring. But it was fun. It was just brainless. What about yourself, Liam? Anything you kind of you enjoyed it?
Yeah. Uncharted 4, obviously. The new Halo the anniversary ones. And like Alex said, Bloodborne looks freaking amazing.
What about Arkham Knight? That trailer just blew me away with that.
Yeah.
Wow, that was sweet.
Yeah, I'm going to get an Xbox One for that.
Is no one worried that they're moving a little bit away from canon now? They're starting to make up all their own characters with reckless abandon here.
I don't know who they've got that new character who he is, but they said this is supposed to wrap
the
up
actual Arkham Knight. Yeah. It's basically
trilogy.
it is. It's based because obviously it's still, even though Arkham Origins was canon, it's not it wasn't a Rocksteady title. So yeah, Arkham Knight is basically the sequel that everybody wanted. The official kind of sequel to Arkham City. Yeah, it's kind of wrapping up the story. They're kind of, and that's it. And I'm glad they're doing one more. That's it. You know, like you mentioned a few months ago in the podcast, they don't want to keep making Batman games all the time. It'd just take away what, it wouldn't be, they'd end up releasing loads of kind of crappy tie-in games like Batman Begins on the Xbox, which was god-awful.
But I just think it'll be really good. Like, because it's Rocksteady again, and both previous Batman games by Rocksteady were fantastic. So the whole of Gotham, the Batmobile, stuff like that, will all be really good. Looks good. And hopefully it will be.
And we'll mention more about Batman in a bit, because obviously we've got more comic book geeks here. Anything else, Liam?
What other games are there now? That's the thing. Nothing else really stood out that much. There was no gameplay shown, was there, for anything? Nearly everything were cutscenes, so it didn't have that great of an effect on me.
It's funny how different people can have such different experiences. Some people, I've heard lots of people agree with you completely, and then other people turning around saying, "Oh my god, I've pre-ordered so many games. There's so much to see there."
Yeah.
I've watched Assassin's Creed Unity like 50 times. Oh my god.
There was no announcement like Peggle 2 was last year. That announcement was the greatest announcement ever. Have you seen it? It was he just came on stage, basically, that's all he did. He came on stage, he jumped up and he just went, Peggle 2! Jumped up in the air and then and that was it, and walked off. It was like, wow. He just got straight to the point.
I was like, yeah, that's how you need to do these things.
Yeah.
Much quicker E3, get the whole thing over in half an hour.
I was really impressed by Nintendo's opening.
You know,
a lot of people were. They said that they were one of the highlights, Nintendo.
Yeah. Did you not see it?
I didn't see it all. I was kind of in between watching it because I was kind of doing other things at the same time. But yeah,
Their opening was brilliant, I thought. I
really liked Xboxes where it was just like short speeches essentially, just got straight to the point, and loads of gameplay footage, one after the other. Well, trailers and gameplay footage, and just not long, boring talking. It was just quick talking that got straight to the point.
Yeah,
that was really good.
Our favourite game moments as well, which is quite a nice touch. Especially think it didn't stay Microsoft centric. You actually had all these people talking about Sony games, Nintendo games, all that.
What about when Major Nelson basically blanked on Matrick? I was like, yeah, you left us, so you no longer exist to us. You're dead to me.
Maybe it's like Sixth Sense. Maybe he always was. Maybe Nelson can't actually see him. Maybe that's what the problem was.
He's just a blur to him, yeah. What about yourself, Dave? Anything stand out for yourself?
I have pre-ordered 18 titles on the back of E3.
So I gotta take it. E3 really impressed you then.
I was quite taken it by it. Yeah. Do you want the list? Are we bored enough
Yes,
to?
please.
Go on. Yeah.
In no particular order, except for this is the order that my Amazon account has them in. We have the Halo Master Chief Collection, Far Cry 4, Mass Effect 4, PGA Tour, Fable Legends, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, Grand Theft Auto 5, Diablo 3, Dragon Age Inquisition, Sunset Overdrive, The Crew, Assassin's Creed Unity, Star Wars Battlefront, Batman Arkham Origins. Change the page.
Origins?
Sorry, no, Arkham Knight, my bad. The Division, which is a highlight, Witcher 3.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's probably most of the list. I think we're done there. But that is basically where I'm going to spend the next 12 months is on those. The highlights, that's it. Luckily, my wife has got an Xbox One as well, so we get to share, and I don't get yelled at.
She's got the smaller TV though.
Not by much. It's still a 32-inch TV. I don't think she's too hard done by. let's not
sit closer to it. Yeah.
Well, it's closer to her technically. Yeah. We're on the same couch. But... Yeah, no. The big highlights for me are Dragon Age Inquisition because I adore the Dragon Age games and I can't wait for the next one. And the Division, I just think looks brilliant.
And The Witcher's getting a lot of hype.
Have you played any of the previous Witcher games?
Yeah, played Witcher 2.
Yeah, I loved Witcher 2, so I'm really excited for that.
It was more amazing. Skyrim for me. It was a lot more kind of detailed and deeper and it grittier and Skyrim was kind of go out there, explore, but it seemed like the missions were a bit more. There was a lot more to them than Skyrim. Like Skyrim was go and explore a dungeon, which is brilliant. One of the best games of last gen, but. Yeah, The Witcher 2 was a lot more solid than Skyrim.
Yeah, I mean, I would go as far as saying, for me, The Witcher 2 was more like Game of Thrones than the Game of Thrones game was. In terms of the story and how compelling it was and how well written it was.
Because the Game of Thrones game is apparently just a god-awful RPG.
Yeah.
I played through it because the story was brilliant and it's canon and it's written properly. But it was a chore because the gameplay was appalling, just so bad.
Are you looking forward to seeing more of Halo 5 Guardians? Because that's one thing I really wish to see.
I knew you were going to
more
mention
of.
that. Go on.
Well, I've got to say, as a Microsoft writer per se, I'm actually not a big Halo fan.
Same here.
I'm just going to put that out there.
No,
I
same
enjoyed
here.
the only one I really enjoyed was ODST, which isn't really a proper Halo game, is it?
What about
It
you,
had the
Liam?
Firefly cast.
The only one I've completed is number 3, and I haven't played Reach or 4 yet properly. So, not the biggest fan. I'll be honest with you.
Same here. I mean, apparently though, there's talk of I don't know if it's going to be after 5 or not. It could be, but there's talk of them not. They're getting rid of scrapping numbers for Halo games.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This is the first one that actually is like a direct Halo game
That has a
has
name.
like a name after the number, which is Guardians.
So it's not Halo 5 Guardians, it's just Halo Guardians.
Oh no, it is Halo 5 Guardians, but never like all the other numbered ones don't have a name.
A subtitle, yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting that it's all part of this Halo journey, isn't it? It's a huge investment PR-wise for Microsoft in this.
Yeah.
Rightly or
It's
wrongly.
got a huge fan base of Halo.
I'm a massive Halo fan myself. Like, it's one of the earliest games played. It essentially sold the Xbox to me. Like, originally, I love every one. And this year, I loved the Master Chief Collection, but I really wish they'd shown some actual, even if it was just a tech demo, like some actual Halo 5 Guardian stuff.
In fact, that's the only reason we didn't get a PS4 already. We were waiting to see if there was anything going to be announced about
It's
Halo.
one of the things that I was like, I would just buy an Xbox One
For us for Halo.
Mass Effect 4 as well. I wasn't expecting a lot, but the trailer for that was like just interviews with the developers.
I was so like, I loved every little image in it, but I wanted less interviews.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I
more
was
footage.
expecting a bit of footage, yeah. And obviously they're not going to show a lot because it's going to be maybe tail end of next year when it's going to come out. But yeah.
And also, let's face it, if there's a company that's gun shy about letting too much information out in case of bad press, it's BioWare.
Yeah.
They weren't too happy about the reception they got on Mass Effect 3, were they?
I mean, they basically pandered to the fans all with that and gave them an alternate ending.
What did you guys think of the ending of Mass Effect 3, out of interest?
The original one or the new one?
The original one.
The original
I was fine
one
with it.
Yeah, it's okay. Depends which choice you made. I chose the synthetic ending. I think it was a blue light. I can't remember now, but yeah, it was like that whole kind of holographic boy. That was a bit. I hated that bit. But
the whole thing was very Blade Runner, wasn't it? It was a bit like, so how long have we actually been indoctrinated for? How much of this has been real, sort of thing?
Or even like Haley Joel Osment in The Sixth Sense. It was like that. Yeah, it was. It was all right. The alternate ending was okay. It wasn't anything special, but the game itself was fantastic. And I mean, Dragon Age. Going back to Dragon Age a lot. It's got mixed reception. Dragon Age 2.
Dragon Age 2 was a mistake because they turned it into an arcade game.
Yeah, it kind of the combat to me. I played them both, and the combat, like the first one, felt like The Witcher in a way. It had that solid lockdown combat, but the second one just felt more like Skyrim with a looser combat.
It's the depth in the characters as well, because I mean the 2 had much better storyline and it was better told, the whole works. But in terms of actually controlling your characters, number 1. And I used to play the old school RPGs like the Ultima series and everything on the PC. And still, Dragon Age Origins and Awakening are some of the most in-depth role-playing games I've ever played. There is so much to them, so many ways to nuance your characters and your builds. And they just scrapped that completely. Dragon Age 2, you can't even change all your companions' armor or anything. You can slightly upgrade their weapons and you can change your own outfit. And when you're jumping from... I know a lot of people found it inaccessible as a result, but when you're jumping from one of the most complicated, beautifully put together role plays to that, a lot of people are going to complain.
Did you play them? Tags, Alex?
No, I've never really got into Dragon Age. I've never played them. Like Mass Effect, I'm a huge fan of Mass Effect, but no, not Dragon Age. Just always been Skyrim and The Witcher. Never.
Well, it's funny because Dragon Age is to Mass Effect what Fallout is to the Skyrim, to the Elder Scrolls, or the other way around. But you get what I mean. It's a very similar game. If you like one, you probably like the other.
Yeah, I should just sit down and play through them, really. I probably would love
get them cheap now. Yeah, I'm surprised one of them hasn't even going to go in Games with Gold soon.
Should do.
Yeah, I think they should put maybe. I mean, like The Witcher 2. I can imagine The Witcher 2 will be in Games with Gold before The Witcher 3 comes out, so people can get a feel for it. One that kind of started for me was Far Cry 4. Cannot wait. It's just free, and Blood Dragon were unbelievable.
Yeah, it looked really awesome.
I'm absolutely loving the new villain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the villain's actually really cool.
There's
Yeah.
been a bit of controversy with him, though, isn't there? Kind of apparently some kind of racist white guy.
Yeah, because of the
Yeah.
artwork.
But I think it was IGN who wrote, or GameSpot, and they were like, well, surely a villain should be a bad guy that makes you hate him. He's a villain.
But saying that, though, it's kind of like Loki in the Avengers. You can't hate him. He's just so charismatic.
Yeah.
You know, and Vass in Far Cry 3, he was amazing. Clarence Boddicker in RoboCop.
I think you're stretching it there with Clarence Boddicker, but
No,
to each their own.
It was a great bat. He was like so cocky and cool.
Tywin Lannister, that's where I'd go.
Yeah.
The man has style. Charles Dance, all the way.
I mean, if Tyrion dies, we riot.
Have you read the books?
No, mate. A workmate is reading them. I'm gonna get them all eventually when they're released. I mean, apparently, obviously, there's supposedly, I think, is it one of them is going to be split into 2 parts?
I've read all of them so far, and there's 2 more books to come.
Yeah.
Might be split into 2 parts, and there might be even another 3rd book on top of that.
Yeah. That's if he doesn't die before writing it.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's actually written out all of the basic threads for every character.
Yeah,
So that if the worst should happen, it can be passed on to a ghostwriter.
Well, there's he's doing and he's also doing something with charity where you can actually, if you bid $20,000, you can actually get you can have a character that'll be killed off in the books and the film. Sorry, not the film, and the TV show.
I think one of them's been taken already. He said there's 2 up, one for a man and one for a woman.
Ah, right.
And the man one's been taken, but I think they're waiting for a woman to take that offer.
Well, there was that Force for Change as well. There was there was the one with Star Wars as well where you can win a part. Although that's obviously going to be delayed now because of Harrison Ford.
Oh, yeah.
I find it ironic. This is a guy who's like been Indiana Jones. He's in the Expendables 3. He's made his career out of being like this kind of doing really kind of big stunts and action movies and things like that, and Blade Runner, etc. And he gets injured by a door. Are you excited for Star Wars? No, go on.
Oh, yeah and no. I think mostly yeah, because it's J.J. Abrams, isn't it, who's directing it?
Yeah.
I think he'll do a good job. I think. It's just
with
like
that many lightsabers, that much lens flare. Are we gonna be able to see what's going on?
that is true.
And we'll be blinded by his dialogue because it can't get any worse than the George Lucas. It's gonna be huge. But I mean, talking of big movies, I mean, I watched the international trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy. That just looks epic.
Yeah, that looks really good.
All the Marvel films are great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been some great films this summer.
I've still not seen Godzilla yet.
Oh man.
It's
you
the
saw
first
it in,
ever
like-
trip to an IMAX.
I was gonna say you saw it, didn't you, in 3D?
Yes, I loved it.
Oh, it's his new favourite film, actually.
Yeah, I think it's my favourite ever film. So I just loved it because it's kind of like the old Godzillas, and just everything in it was really, really awesome.
Is,
Awesome shot.
Kick-Ass and Walter White any good as well in it?
Yeah, he was good for while he appeared in it. Yeah, but I can't really say anything more without spoiling it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was good. Yeah, he was really good. He's a great actor.
I love him as an actor. I was so excited to see him in the trailers.
Who, Kick-Ass or Walter White?
Walter White.
Yeah.
And Kick-Ass guy. I don't know his name, but he was
Aaron
actually
Taylor
really good as
Johnson.
well. Yeah, he was great as well. Actually, he managed to hold up really well. And Godzilla, he was a great actor too.
The guy in the suit. Well, what about you, Liam and Dave? Have you seen any films at cinema recently, or any big movies?
Last one I saw was X-Men. Went to see Days of Future Past.
Yes.
And it was, as with some of the previous ones, it was a fantastic film, but it did, as being a bit of a comic book geek, I'm not loving the differences, if you see what I mean, between the original storyline that I read when I was in my teens and what they've done with the film. But if you just ignore that and take it as a standalone film, it's amazing.
Yeah,
And with
'cause
that
it
many
wasn't Wolverine in the
wonderful,
original, were it? Yeah.
yeah, and that's just the thin end of the wedge for some of the changes in it. But just having all of those actors in one place is just outstanding. And there's some just iconic scenes in it. As iconic as the opening scene with, I think it was X-Men 2, wasn't it? Where you had Nightcrawler teleporting around the White House.
Yeah.
You've got an equally iconic scene with Quicksilver, who's not called Quicksilver for licensing reasons in this version.
It's funny, yeah, because he's played by Evan Peters, who played Ass Kicker,
Yeah.
and Aaron Taylor Johnson played Kick Ass, and he's playing Quicksilver in Age of Ultron.
Ironic, isn't it?
Yeah. Except his Quicksilver's not going to have any powers in Age of Ultron, mutant powers.
No, they can't have mutants at all, do they? Because the whole mutant issue is licensed back.
Yeah, to Fox, yeah.
Which is why even in, I think I've got this right, even in the original Avengers films, S.H.I.E.L.D. never, and in the S.H.I.E.L.D. TV series, they never refer to mutants. They always refer to sort of special people and they find alternative terminology for it and stuff. It's supposed to be a reference to mutants, but without saying the word.
Trying to be politically correct.
Yep.
Yeah, Guardians looks amazing. Is there anything you're looking forward to, Liam?
Yeah. In between us next month.
Yeah, that new trailer today was hilarious.
So funny. Yeah, it actually looks better than the first one as well. Surprisingly. You know how films sequels are never that good, are they, really? Especially in that type of genre as well. Yeah,
well, some film sequels have been alright. I mean, that one called The Dark Knight was okay. It was watchable. Yeah, you kind of... The thing is, though, it seems like, though, with the In-Betweeners too, they've kind of scrapped all the rules of the first one. Like, Jade just seems like he's back to his worst.
Yeah, I think he split with her that he met at first.
Yeah,
really.
Will has as well, and it seems like the only one who's it. Because have you seen the trailer today?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah, Lucy's in it. That's it. And she obviously says to Simon, "If you cheat on me, basically,
cut off his dick.
I'll rip your ball." Yeah. But talking, obviously, like I said, the Guardians looks amazing. They've also cast Aquaman in that movie that's being done just because of the Avengers.
The JLA.
Yeah, well, Dawn of Justice.
Well, yes, that's it. Yeah, you've got the Batman, Superman first, and then we're going JLA as it sort of carries on, really, isn't it? They're trying to do the Marvel thing, but without bothering to set up any of the characters first. Genius.
The film's gonna have to be about 3 hours long. What's your what you all kind of thinking of that in terms of
what's the director's name? It's
Jason Momoa, who's playing Aquaman. He's in Game of Thrones.
Oh no!
Who's the director?
Who's the director? He's he did 300, Watchmen.
Zack Snyder.
Oh, Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder. That's it. See, I think knowing him and his previous work, it'll be fantastic. Visually.
Yeah.
Story it may be lacking in a bit. I don't know. He's never normally when he does his own stuff. He's never normally that good with story, but he's fantastic with the visuals. And I think also I can't help but compare Batman to Christopher Nolan's Batman.
Yeah.
Like I'll just be doing that the whole time. But yeah, I think it'll be good. I think it'll be very entertaining. How do you feel about it?
What?
Justice League.
Justice League.
Yeah,
Well, Batman versus Superman. Yeah, the Dawn of Justice.
Yeah, I think it's going to be... I don't know, because at the end of the Superman one, like it just feels like it's going to be really, really unbalanced. Do you know what I mean? Like the end of the Superman one, he just wipes out an entire city.
Yeah,
And it's like, how
I
is
can't see
Superman, who comes from another planet
I think that
and
whole.
is that powerful, just
I
going
don't
to
think
come up
anything.
against
If
Batman?
they're gonna,
and-
if he's gonna do fight scenes, I don't think anything can quite live up to that with the villains that are in
Yeah.
this one. Because
And we all know
And
it's just
Batman.
going to resort to kryptonite, probably.
Kryptonite will be
Yeah.
there, yeah.
So it's like,
I hate
Hmm.
Kryptonite. 'Cause it's overused. And every Superman film I've watched or TV series is overused. But yeah, otherwise I think it'll be entertaining. I do like Zack Snyder as a director, and
yeah,
he's never let me down in stuff before. So yeah, it'll be good. It'll be alright.
probably.
Probably. I like your kind of vote of confidence there. You're definitely kind of assured about it. Yeah,
I
it might
really don't feel like it's going to be balanced at all. I'm like, after the last
That is
Superman,
probably. I feel
after Man of
like
Steel.
I want them both to be good characters in their
Yeah,
own right.
I
I don't want them to
fucking
go up on
love
one
Batman.
character and neglect another.
Exactly. I love Batman, but I just don't think he can go up against the Man of Steel.
Well, when they
The Man of
team
Steel.
up, I can imagine Superman going around doing all this awesome stuff, and then Batman like, I'm coming to rush you up
Yeah.
to you in my Batmobile and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I think it's also got Wonder Woman in it, and I think as well.
Yeah, there's Wonder Woman. There'll be loads of others. I mean, obviously, Davey is kind of not happy about it. What's your view?
I just think they're spreading the net too wide. The one thing that Marvel has done really well is be incredibly protective over their IPs. They didn't do any proper films until they felt the tech was ready for it. And at that point, they've set up each character beautifully. You've got 3 Iron Men, 2 Thor. You've got wonderful Captain America films out. Each one's got a different feel, a different style. And then they drew them together amazingly. And then it's pre-planned. It's in phases. Whereas I just think the DC world's a bit of a mess. I loved Smallville, but that's already then set up half of the characters for the Justice League. Then you had Christopher Nolan's Batman. Before that, of course, you had all the other Batman films. Then you had Christopher Nolan's trilogy. Now we've got Arrow running and soon The Flash going alongside it, while also having these characters all re-represented for, in some cases, a third time, some cases a fifth time in the Justice League films. It's a bit messy, and I think I agree with you guys that they just won't be able to balance it properly.
Yeah, like I think because was it leaked that they've got more characters coming into films after this? I think they said they were going to do a Flash film. I think the Flash, and Wonder Woman might get her own film as well, and then obviously Justice League again, bringing them all together back, and it does seem like it is a mess.
And then
at
there's
least
going to
Marvel,
be
it's all-
recasting as well, yeah, like Green Lantern. There's talk of The Rock taking over from Ryan Reynolds, obviously playing in a different Green Lantern. But yeah, it's kind of like if they're doing that and they're getting rid of people like Ryan Reynolds, it means and just reboot. It's like they're rebooting it again, kind of, and you need to give them time.
I'm one of the only few people that really enjoyed the Green Lantern movie, because I think sometimes people forget they're just supposed to be comics.
I'm with
They're
you.
just supposed to be
I
silly
enjoyed
cartoons.
it as well.
Yeah,
It was decent.
it was. That is what the Green Lantern's about. It's not exactly the biggest three-dimensional character in the world. He's
Yeah.
just a mess about guy who has to start taking himself seriously, and I thought they captured it. But I agree, recasting is always a mistake. And if they're making a Flash film at the same time as they're making a Flash TV series and the two aren't connected, what? And you've already had, luckily it wasn't the same, it was Bart Allen, so it was Impulse, but you already had a Flash represented in Smallville. You're going to have the same with Aquaman, the same with Cyborg, yeah, messy.
I'm still a bit weird about kind of Jesse Eisenberg as well as Lex Luthor.
Oh yeah, that is weird. Like I can't see him as Lex Luthor.
No, I think
someone a bit more.
Bryan Cranston would have been amazing. But the problem is, if you shave Bryan Cranston's hair off, everybody's just going to be like, everyone's just going to be comparing him to Heisenberg.
Yeah, definitely. And they're clearly going for the younger idea of it. But once again, I think Smallville, Michael Rosenbaum did an amazing job of Lex Luthor as a younger Lex Luthor in that. The thing that I think they're really going to sort of stuff with as well is clearly the story's going to be they're trying to make it the whole Batman Superman versus fight of the Millennium. But I think there's no doubt it's going to be Lex Luthor trying to play one off against the other, and then they're going to realise and unite for the greater good, while mildly hating each other.
But if it's going to be like 2 hours, 2.5 hours long, you're going to try and have to establish, because obviously Superman's been established, but you have to try and establish Batman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
I think they said, is there one called Cyborg? I think he said he might be in it as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
so
Cyborg.
you're going to try and establish him. It's like, it's too much for one film when you've got to establish all of those for the first time. And
apparently there's still going to be background characters like Black Canary, Green Arrow and all that aren't going to be major roles in this one, but they're introducing them in this one to use them in the next one, which makes it even messier.
Just too much.
Yeah, that's like superhero cameos. You don't want that.
No.
I mean, like, I can live with like Hawkeye and the Black Widow in the Avengers. They kind of. I mean, the Black Widow obviously, she was in like Iron Man 2, but kind of Hawkeye, you're like, yeah, you kind of know what he's about and stuff, and they just kind of brought him in. But it's like Marvel. They've got a plan till 2028. They're building and building even smaller characters. Like they've got a plan. It's not just for the next Avengers movie. It's like the Guardians of the Galaxy. They're going to come back for like the third Avengers movie, and then there's obviously going to be, who knows? They may get the X-Men and Fantastic Four licenses again, and Spider-Man, in the future. So they're planning ahead.
Well, if you've read up on it, the Phase 3 is really interesting because it involves tertiary Avengers like Ant-Man, but it also has non-Avengers like Doctor Strange, and I think they might be trying to gear up for some sort of Secret Wars type story.
Well, yeah, there's apparently the Civil War. They're supposed to be going with that, the Civil War storyline.
Well, I mean, the way the last Captain America film went, that would fit.
Yeah.
That's definitely the attitude, the role he's going down at the moment.
And Matt Ruffalo said today they're considering a standalone Hulk movie again.
Which would be great because he was brilliant. I didn't. Before I saw him in the Avengers, I was really, he's the new Hulk. As soon as I saw him, he was perfect.
Yeah, he had that bromance with Eddie J.
Yeah.
That old sort of smouldering look. Right, and that if you've seen the Honest trailers, if you don't watch Honest trailers, you need to. It's superb. So funny. We kind of talk about what YouTube channels we follow or what we've been watching recently. What have you all been watching recently? Any kind of channels that we should subscribe to if we're not already subscribed?
Like we always talk about, Two Best Friends Play.
Yeah. Incredible. I've started watching Boogie. Oh, I can't remember. He's got some. No, it's Boogie. I think some numbers after his name.
Oh, yeah.
I've just started watching his videos, and he's got like other personalities, but I just when it's just him directly, I love his videos.
Yeah, Stu, I think his name is, but his character's called Francis.
Yes, that's one. He's such a great, when he's just talking himself just about games. He's fantastic. Like, he's just so into his videos.
His Titanfall video when he has the statue. He literally, the Titanfall collector's edition statue, he had to put it on a table. He had to put it was a box in a box in a box. That's how big it is. And apparently the Witcher 3 statue is going to be even bigger than that. Yeah, kid you not. Apparently it's because the Titanfall statue is that big. On the IGN unboxing video, as I was saying to Mike last month, they're actually seeing, could you see if you could get a human into the box? Yeah, I kid you not. But yeah, Francis, if you go onto his Boogie's channel, he does a Titanfall unboxing. It's huge, the Titanfall one. But yeah, he does a lot. When he's, I think his real name's, like I said, I think it's Stu. And he talks a lot. When he's not Francis, he's himself, as you mentioned. He does a lot of videos about his weight. He talks about kind of how people are nasty about his weight.
See, I think I've just because he's recently, his last few videos for like I've only been watching him for like a couple of weeks. Mostly been focused on games, so I think I've kind of missed these kind of weight videos. Kind of mentioned it briefly, but yeah, I know in the past he's talked a lot about his weight and trying to get healthier. I think.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, because he's a big guy. But I mean, he's married and his wife's a big geek. Like,
Yeah, he is.
But yeah, when he does his Francis videos, he's so funny.
I think he just got I think he just posted a video up today where he's got a gold YouTube button thing get sent to him by YouTube for like so many subscribers.
Oh,
So
nice.
That's quite impressive.
Oh, sweet. I'll have to watch that because it was on before. Ashens is really good. I don't know if you ever watch him. If any of you watch him, he's it's ASHENS. I recommend him. He's so Mike's met him, and he's this British guy. He's very very British, and he goes to like Poundland and people send him stuff from Poundland, just tat and like toys, unofficial fake toys and things, and he reviews them. And he just he pulls them out of the packaging and basically insults them. Just what he's called Ashens. He's so funny. LA Beast is really cool as well. He's a competitive eater. He does like eating challenges. Like this week, there was one where he tried to eat his own shoe. There was another where he boiled Coca-Cola and put it on a sandwich and ate it. Yeah, stuff like that. Two Best Friends is always great. Yeah. Anything? You got any other kind of YouTube channels you subscribe to that you want to give a shout out to or recommend?
Well, mine are all boringly game related after some of these competitive eating ones, but
I've gaming ones.
There's three that I watch religiously. The first one is one that everyone's familiar with, Outside Xbox.
Yeah.
Which is just hilarious. I
Mm.
love those guys. I've met them a couple of times. Met them last year's Eurogamer, and they're very Twitter active. But their videos, they do the show of the week, and they do lots of let's plays and lots of features like 5 reasons we don't like X, 10 reasons we want, 10 things we want to see in Y. They are just so funny, and they actually know their stuff. So that's one that I always go back to. And the second one is Co-optitude, which I don't know if anyone watches. It's Felicia Day and her brother Ryan Day.
No.
Felicia Day she's been a bit part actress in stuff like Buffy. And
and the Quest.
Bits and parts everywhere. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Guild and all those.
The Guild,
sorts of things.
not the Guild.
And she's part of the YouTube channel now that's run by Will Wheaton, where he does his tabletop. And there's loads of great shows on it. It's called Geek and Sundry is the channel. And I would recommend that to anyone that's got any interest in anything we've been talking about today, from games to comics to the rest of it. And each person's got different shows. So Will Wheaton, who used to be Wesley Crusher in Star Trek and is now hilarious in Big Bang, he does a tabletop game show, which is much more entertaining than it has any right to be, where he gets geeky celebs to come in. So he'll get people from, say, Warehouse 13 or a town like Eureka to come and play board games with him while bantering. But the one that's really good is this Co-optitude, which is Felicia Day and her brother Ryan, and they just play loads of retro 2-player games together while being videoed, and it's very funny. But the biggest one, if you're only going to go for one gaming channel, the one that leaves me actually crying laughing at times is one called Nerd Cubed, Nerd 3.
Yeah.
And the only way I can describe this is it's like watching Eddie Izzard play computer games. It is just so funny. He's just a guy that will pick the most random games like truck simulators and boat simulators and goat simulators and all sorts of weird stuff and just play them while doing his inner monologue externally.
No.
And it's just gold. It's so funny.
Oh, I'll definitely get. I've heard of it. There's quite There's I mean there's the gaming channels like you see you kind of get some who are just like the Let's Plays are really good and things, and because obviously Mike and Liam do a lot of them, but kind of the ones where like parodies and things like that are always kind of not just Let's Plays and things. They're always great fun. When you kind of have a bit of like two best friends play, you watch it for the banter between them.
Definitely.
I literally just watched them watching you 3 the other day.
Yeah.
Like for 3 hours.
That's how I watched the Nintendo conference. I just watched their video of them watching the Nintendo conference. I thought it was just brilliant. They're just so much fun to watch.
It's
so
just funny, but
entertaining.
they do have knowledge about what they're talking about. But great fun, just great banter as well.
I never watched them. Hook.
No, I haven't, but I'm going to definitely add them after this. Because
Yeah.
anyone that's got that much charisma that you can just watch them watching something is immediately
Yeah.
Because if there's one thing I can't stand, it's anything that has the word unboxing in it. Anything where it's just some monotonous person just going through the motions time after time. Someone with a bit of character and a bit of banter, it just makes a video, doesn't it?
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, and I
And
should
there's-
probably say, of course, that one of the best YouTube channels out there is Xbox Mad TV. That's the things I'm supposed to be plugging that while I'm here. I better throw that one in quickly, or I will be crucified. Sorry, carry on.
Do you want to give any more shout outs to anyone while you're here?
I think just I don't want to burden people, but it's just
No.
Xbox Mad TV and all the guys that are running it. If you go onto the site, there's a contact us and you can see all their Twitter handles and everything. But at xboxmad.tv, all words, is our Twitter handle as well. I don't want to suddenly sound like we're doing an infomercial in the middle of
No, you can
the
plug
podcast.
anybody. You can give a mention, shout out to any friends. It's fine.
We do a very entertaining, in my opinion, Xbox Mad TV channel where we do videos that constantly get us in trouble. In fact, one started a 12-hour argument on Twitter with the people who may have accidentally been mentioned in it. So if you want to see a bit of controversy, go check out the Worms video that they did recently. But
Which one?
Worms, we did a Let's Play Worms, and certain members of our team thought it would be hilarious to name the worms after certain people on Twitter who may have outspoken opinions on things, and then characterize them during the game.
I am subscribing now.
So yeah, I mean, if you're looking for something that is a bit different and a bit irreverent, I think that's how I'd describe it. It's a very similar to you guys, really, just a bit more Xbox specific. Same sort of sense of humor and everything.
You've got to have a sense of humor to watch things like for things on YouTube. You kind of, did you? I just sent you all a message on. I don't know if you've got it on Skype with that Ashens. I don't know. There's a link to his account. Screen Junkies. If you really love your movies, go to Cinema Sins and Screen Junkies and watch the Everything Wrong with. Screen Junkies do kind of shows on there.
Yeah,
They
just
do
like-
honest
Oh my
trailers.
goodness.
Honest trailers are so funny. And Cinema Sins, Everything Wrong with. They pick apart
Oh, the
movies, but
300
they're still so funny.
Oh, one
Yeah,
classic channel, and I've got to be so careful about how I pronounce this now for the sake of political correctness. I'm going to say Niga Higa, just so I don't get in any trouble here. Niga-Higa.
Yeah,
They
I
are
was.
brilliant.
Oh,
Nothing to do with
brilliant.
games. Absolutely hilarious. Just a couple of guys that have been together since high school. They're past uni now and still doing it. And they just make ridiculous videos. They got my
Nice.
attention by they did films in 5 minutes. So they just redid like stuff like Twilight, but
Yeah.
tried to sum it up in 5 minutes in the most hilarious ways possible.
Nice.
That's a good one to check out.
Smooth McGroove is a great guy. We've mentioned him in the past. He does the acapellas.
Awesome.
He's just doing like game theme tunes and stuff like
Yeah.
before. Last time it's great. Absolutely, just with just his voice, it was amazing.
Are there any you watch, Liam?
Yeah, I like to watch Nostalgia Critic. I don't know if you've
Yeah.
ever heard of him. But
I love when he's rage videos like Son of the Mask and Scooby Doo.
If the movie's truly awful, he'll proper rage on it. Other than him, Cinemassacre with Angry Video Game Nerd,
Yeah.
Those
yeah,
was
I can't
good.
wait for his movie.
which is
Yeah.
out this year as well, isn't it?
Yeah. There were an update about it recently. Obviously, shout out to the classic, Zero Punctuation. He's still one of the greatest. Please tell me you've heard of Zero Punctuation, guys.
No.
No. Oh my God, Yahtzee. He is one of the greats. Seriously, you need go on. He reviews it in a certain style, and it's so fast. And he's got a certain video style as well. But it's brilliant. Alex would love him because he loves Valve and Silent Hill and hates everything else.
I'm
Seriously.
trying to find it now.
Yeah. Zero Punctuation. He's brilliant. Give him a watch. Honestly, he's like the Angry Video Game Nerd. But he reviews up to date games, and he's brutally honest about them. he'll like some games, but he'll still pick apart the bad points. Kind of like everything wrong with an honest trailers. Yeah, so he's been going for a long time on the website, the Escapist magazine. Mike has done a couple of interviews with Guru Larry. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
Yeah. I remember when he got DuckTales remastered, I was like, oh, I want that gold cartridge.
He's his stuff keeps popping up on Sky as well.
Yeah. He's very, very kind of he's not just known for his YouTube videos, yeah. But that's the beauty about, like I say, LA Beast, give him a watch as well. That's the beauty of YouTube. There's always something that's like it's just, even just vines and fail videos and things like that. Music video parodies are they're like you just go on, even if you just want to browse and for watch a few videos and you get hooked onto them. And if you subscribe, then you start subscribing to a new channel. And then you kind of start watching him, like Mikey Bolts as well. He does kind of Family Guy songs and impressions, and he's really funny. But could be here all day.
Oh, I've got one for you. There's a guy called Got Drums, and basically what he does, he plays Call of Duty, and he has an auto-tune voice on, and he sings to people on Xbox Live.
Nice.
And some of the reactions he gets are crazy.
There's some pretty amazing videos where people are trolling people, and they use that. They put them on YouTube. Some of the good ones, there's people that dress up as characters, as some of the enemies in Dark Souls, and then just hide. So when someone invades their world, they're just standing there among the other people and see how long it takes to notice. But some of the best trolling I've seen actually involves the Xbox and the voice commands. You've probably all seen it by now, but there's a guy that keeps making these videos. I wish I could remember his name, but I didn't remember to subscribe to him, which is awful of me. But he makes these videos where he keeps changing his gamer tag. And last time it was Xbox Skype, and before that it was turn off, or all these different commands you can give the Xbox. And then he just goes and deliberately trolls players in Call of Duty mainly until they scream his name, at which point it then closes his software down and loads up something else on him. And that is just hilarious to watch.
Speaking of Call of Duty, are you looking forward to Advanced Warfare?
Me, I think it's the first Call of Duty that got my attention since number 2. And I don't mean Modern Warfare 2, I mean number 2, the launch title on the 360. I don't like the Call of Duty games as a rule. It's not anything about them particularly, it's just I don't get on with them. I like slow play, I like Rainbow Six, I like Battlefield. So I've never been a COD fan. But this new one, I don't know, it looks very Titanfall-y, and that can't be a bad thing. I think that might get my attention.
Because Battlefield's popular. I mean, Liam and Alex love the Battlefield games as well. It seems to be taking over Call of Duty as the kind of big multiplayer shooter.
There's just no comparison. I mean, the scale of Battlefield, 64-man games where you've got tanks and planes and helicopters and boats. You've got all the different character types. You could play the same map 20 times and you wouldn't have the same experience twice. That's what's nice about Battlefield.
It's proper warfare. That's how a war would be. Not like Call of Duty where you've got, say, 12 men on the same map every time doing the same thing. It's more tactical as well, isn't it?
And working in squads is just brilliant. When you get your 5-man squad together, you got your medic, you got your support, you've got a sniper overwatching. It's just, it's a great fun game.
I still need to play it, really. I mean, it's just, obviously after E3 I need to get an Xbox One now. It's just the price, but once they get rid of Kinect, I think that's going to knock it down a lot more as well.
It depends where you're going to set it up, but I think the biggest mistake you could make would be buying an Xbox One without Kinect. Not for the games, but for everything else it does, because it's just the norm now to use voice commands for everything. I can walk into my lounge and the first thing I say is Xbox on, and after that, I use voice commands for everything. If I want to watch Sky, I can say the channel. If I want to go to Netflix, I can say to go to Netflix and then go to each individual film and make my selections. I can use every single item on there using the voice control, and I would seriously miss it if it wasn't there.
So it doesn't feel kind of it feels quicker because like on the Xbox 360, the Kinect was like it was frustrating because you'd be like, I don't know, you'd go like Kinect games library and you'd have to say it twice sometimes, or
not only is it, this one actually learns from you, which is a great touch because it'll get better as you use it more. But not only is it quicker, it's so much less invasive because if you're in a game now, if I'm in a game and someone else joins our party and they want an invite, rather than pressing a button, pausing the game, getting out of it, trying to move across the menus while someone's shooting at me, I have to be careful because I'm Skyping from my Xbox, so I can't say the X word and then a command afterwards. So I'll just be saying the X word, so I don't accidentally cut the call off. But I'll be in a game. I can be playing Battlefield, for example, and I'll just say X word snap party, X word invite party to game, and that will be enough for that person to be brought in straight away.
Nice.
One of the best commands you can give is Xbox record that. No button presses, but the last 30 seconds of my game goes straight to my hard drive. I'm carrying on playing. I don't have to pause, stop, go to any menus. Just bits and bobs like that really make it for me. But like I say, it's the sort of stuff you don't know you need, but once you've got it, you would miss it.
Oh, yeah, because it was. I mean, do you think they're going to start? Do you think it's in terms of it being just a success? Do you think it'd be successful with games as well? Do you think they are going to start? There's going to be enough games to justify it.
I say this as a huge Xbox fan. No, it will never be a game peripheral. It's a console peripheral. It's great fun to use in games, but except maybe Kinect Sports, there's never been any great Kinect only games. That's just the sad truth of it. It's fun to play about with, but it's not integral. Being able to give voice commands in Battlefield 4 to say, I need a medic or attack this position, they're great. They're useful and they're great fun. But I don't think that it's worth getting if you're hoping for some amazing new dance. I suppose the fitness games, if you're into using your Xbox for fitness, it's amazing for that. But that's about it, really. You get it because it's a great way to navigate the console, and it's a great new way to integrate with the console, not as a game controller.
Oh, nice! I'll have to get it with it then. Have you been using yours, Liam?
Only for voice commands. I've also got the PlayStation Eye, and compared to the Kinect on Xbox, it is pathetic. It doesn't do anything. It's just the biggest waste of money I've ever spent. You can't switch the console on with it. You can't turn the console off. I mean, you can say go to whatever game, but that's about it.
That's why I didn't bother getting one, because I knew the Xbox One was going to be my primary console. I just gave up. I didn't even look at the Eye when I got the PS4.
The thing is that they promised all these games would be compatible with it, and I think there's one Playroom, and that's fun for about 20 seconds.
Yeah. See, at least on the plus side, until this big change of direction, game companies have been obliged to put some degree of Kinect compatibility into every game they've released, even if it's just something really tertiary and pointless, like a voice command or something. They've had to have something. But I think that's probably going to disappear now. But really, I mean, one of the lovely ways I saw it integrated was in the new Tomb Raider. That was, I think it was just called Tomb Raider, wasn't it? It was the reboot.
Yeah.
And they had some amazing stuff. Not only did they have loads of voice commands so that you could do everything from pause the game to change your weapon using voice commands, but they had this semi-augmented reality thing where when your character picked up an artifact, there's the artifacts to collect around the place, then you have to examine the artifact. You reached out with your hands and you turned the artifact around with your hands to examine it and look around and move it closer to you and further away. And it actually worked surprisingly well. That was something I wasn't expecting. So there are ways to introduce it, but it's certainly not a must-have from that perspective.
Yeah, because it was kind of like with Mass Effect 3 on the 360. It was like you could say, I don't know, open door, and it'd be quicker to just press A.
Yeah.
That was the only worry I have about it, with the voice activation. It's like, it does seem like a lot. I like with the, obviously for those who aren't in the know, there was the Aaron Paul advert where everyone's been complaining, where it's kind of been activating their Titanfall and switching their Xbox off. It obviously, from what you've said, it seems like along with that advert as well, it just seems so. It was sluggish with the 360, you know, and things like that. You've been relying on it a lot, so it is that seamless. It does no lag or anything like that. It cut straight to it.
Straight to it, yeah. And that advert, and ironically, people are complaining about it, but it at least gives you a good idea of how effective it is, because it is instant.
Has it affected yours?
I haven't actually had the advert on at the right time yet, but I know people who have had the channel changed, and I know that because the Xbox is supposed to be this all-in-one multimedia hub, it does some impressive other stuff. Oh, and here's another reason why you should have Kinect, because the Kinect is an IR blaster. So you can program it so that it controls your Sky or Virgin box, your TV, your surround sound, everything. So when you say Xbox on, it doesn't just turn on the Xbox, it turns on everything. But of course, it's a dumb IR blast, and on-off is the same signal. So I know a lot of people whose Xbox have heard Xbox on from Aaron Paul, and suddenly the Kinect's IR blasted and turned their TV off, which is a bit of a downside for them, but yeah. Not perfect, but it is, at least it's responsive.
Liam just wants it to bring him a beer.
Oh, that'd be perfect, wouldn't it?
Yeah. You wouldn't need the wife. Ends Xbox, unzip my flies. On that note, it's getting 9:15 now. Yeah, we've been going on for about 2 hours.
About that, yeah.
Yep. 1 hour 56 minutes.
We'll round it off at 2 hours. Obviously, we'll give all the shout outs and everything in a minute, and the goodbyes. But yeah, you know, it's been, obviously, as we mentioned before, E3 has been amazing. There's been something for everyone. Obviously, Tegwin, Alex, you mentioned that Nintendo stood out for you. Liam, Dave, what stood out for you guys in terms of consoles? Who do you think won E3?
Oh, that's a dangerous question. It's one that you know what? I've avoided answering that to anyone, so this is almost exclusive. But I would have to say, from my very biased perspective, although I've got both consoles, I would say the Microsoft, just because it was games as Phil promised.
Yeah, it wasn't kind of sequels to games like Sunset Overdrive. Looks really good and fun. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Liam?
I'm gonna say Nintendo. However, I know Mike shares the same opinion as me on this. I personally think that both the PS4 and Xbox One came 18 months too early, especially with all the games coming out in 2015.
I would not disagree with that.
Yeah, because Mike said in the last podcast, he said he felt like they should have held off, and then Halo could have been a launch title, Halo Guardians.
Yeah, definitely.
And by then they'd have had the SDKs, the better SDKs in place. They would have had all the policies right. They would have had the new DirectX 12 installed. From a Microsoft
Possibly a bigger hard drive as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I can't fault the logic with that.
No, because I mean the first few games for the Xbox One were just they seem like ports, like Assassin's Creed Black Flag and things like that. It was just
Lego Marvel.
Yeah, great game. Have you got the Lego Movie video game yet?
No, they're the ones that my wife and I co-op, so we're working through them one at a time. So at the moment we're doing Marvel, and then it'll be the movie net.
The Hobbit.
No,
have you not got that yet?
Not yet. No, I've got to. I'm falling behind.
Brilliant. You to be honest, you're better holding off because the Battle of Five Armies Lego version isn't out till December. That's being released as DLC. So you're only getting 2/3 of a game right now on disc.
Yeah, so probably will hold off till then, I think.
But yeah, they've obviously recently as well, which is a great move for I think everyone, especially like myself, Alex, and Tegwin. Major Nelson has announced that the external hard drives are now compatible, or will be.
I've got a 4 terabyte attached to mine as we speak.
Nice. So it's already compatible. Nice.
It's already compatible. Yep.
Are you going to be downloading a lot of digital games because of it, or are you just going to stick with disk space and install them onto the hard drive?
Well, like I say, Pippa and I have both got an Xbox One each,
Mm.
and there's this incredible thing that's not very well advertised, but all digital games from the Microsoft Store come with 2 licenses. So every time we buy a game, we can install it on her machine and on my machine.
Yeah, you said that, and I think you were saying it today to answer Night Owl. Yeah.
Yeah, on Destiny in that sense, yeah.
Yeah.
So the main reason that we are moving more and more towards digital is just because we get 2 games for the price of 1. It's just that simple. So I am moving more and more towards digital. It's just a shame you don't get the hard copy or the collector's editions yet.
And you can't trade them. That's something you kind of. They need to sort out the pricing policy. I mean, you
Definitely.
look at like even Xbox 360 games. It's like what, $49.99. Like Watch Dogs, I think it's something like $49.99 on the 360, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's just insane.
Yeah. Destiny was one that we've kind of. You've been playing the beta, haven't you, with Banzi?
Yeah, and with Lisa and Dave from Gamer Kitten as well, actually, the other night.
Ah.
And it's glorious. It is absolutely gorgeous. I was not going to be a big fan. I'd already sort of pre-decided it's just going to be Halo, but MMO. I will play it because everyone else will play it, but I'm not going to be that into it. But it's really, really impressed me. Absolutely lovely game.
Oh, nice. I'm going to keep it. I've kind of been held off on that, not trying to get too much information. Are you going to get it, Tegs and Alex? Destiny.
Oh, Destiny.
Well-
Oh yeah, Alex is mental. I mean, we've already pre-ordered it.
We've got it pre-ordered with a PlayStation 4, so
Yeah.
I'm looking for. I wasn't excited to start with, but super looking forward to it now. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it looks good. Every time I see it, it looks better and better.
Mm.
So
Hooksan's been playing the beta.
I think I heard it's not going to have split screen in it though, which I was kind of disappointed by. Really wanted some split screen.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just going to be 1 player per console, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because it's about the amount of information that has to be sent.
Yeah.
back and forth.
Yeah. I was holding out on hope because it's Bungie
Yeah.
and all the Halos, but yeah, otherwise it looks utterly fantastic. I think
Mm.
the size of the world they're going for, well, the galaxy they're going for, will be incredible. Hopefully.
I mean, do you think, obviously, with the Elder Scrolls Online, talking about, obviously, MMOs and online MMOs and things, do you think that's going to benefit from being held back on the consoles?
I personally feel like probably, yeah, for stuff to fix, I think it will. It'll be little bugs and stuff obviously fixed, but that's about the only reason I think.
What about yourself, Dave? Because I know you've been looking forward to it.
Yeah, I know, but the pricing, I just don't. I think it looks amazing. I've watched Banzi play it on the PC via Twitch, and it looks like Skyrim. There's no drop in quality of graphics or anything. It looks like you're just playing a multiplayer Skyrim, and that blows me away. But £50 for the game and then £9 a month on top of that. That's 2 years is going to cost you £270, and that stings by anyone's.
And that's nearly a full
calculations.
console price. And
Yeah.
it will be by the time next year.
So it's going to have to really wow me for me to get into it long term, I think. But I will give it a go, definitely.
Right, you thought you had me at Skyrim, online Skyrim.
Well, you just keep an eye on Banzi's Twitch, because he does go on it still every so often. And
Banzi's
play for it
Twitch.
for an hour at a time. Yeah, that sounds every kind of wrong, doesn't it? Here you go.
Yeah,
Shout out to Banzi's Twitch.
Got his eye on that. And his
Yeah, it's his Twitch handle is Unabanzi, which makes no sense, but UNABANZIE, I think. So if anyone wants to see the Elder Scrolls Online being played, he's a guy that plays it quite regularly at the minute.
You watch Twitch, Tags, Alex, and Liam?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I didn't massively before the Pokemon thing. But once that Pokemon thing happened, I was just like, oh,
Oh
it's
yeah,
on
that
Twitch
was
now.
that was fun.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
Incredible.
yeah, occasionally watch it, but not too often.
But yeah, just
I should get involved in it more. Just watch more on there and just explore what's on there. But
well, you want to give a shout out just Hooksan, you want to mention Banzies again to him?
Yeah, it's his Twitch channel is Unabanzi, UNABANZIE, and he tends to play a lot of the lesser known games and stuff like the stuff you don't see on there as much. Elder Scrolls Online he plays a bit, and then he goes into Starbound and those sort of more kitschy games that have less of a cult. They have a big
Wildstar
cult
will be
following. But,
playing as well.
yeah, exactly, that sort of thing. Yeah, he really loves those sort of games. So if you're looking for something a bit different, something that's not being tweet streamed by 450 people, then that's the one to look for.
Yeah, sweet. I've written it down. We'll even follow.
But Minecraft's one that I think obviously loves that as well. That's been huge. Minecraft, and it's coming out on the. They've announced that recently as well, saying that you can transfer your Xbox 360 save over to the Xbox One, but you can't do it the other way.
Yeah, I don't really know why that is. It seems like that should be bi-directional tech, doesn't it?
I think it's mainly because the Minecraft save on the Xbox One is going to be bigger. It's going to be huge. The world's going to be even bigger.
I think in the PlayStation 4 version, they said the world's going to be 36 times the size of those in the PlayStation 3 version. So, I'm saying with the Xbox One.
Yeah, I think it's equivalent.
Because that's been hugely successful. I mean, it's like still, it's kind of went to number one again in the charts again recently. It's kind of. Did you all play it or?
No, but I'm definitely going to this time because the pricing's insane. On next gen standalone, it's only going to be £20. But if you owned the PS3 or the Xbox 360 version, upgrading is going to cost £5. Which is just a no-brainer, isn't it?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I think I'm just holding out for the next gen release.
Yeah, we're holding out for next gen.
You get more out of it then, yeah. And obviously you'll be doing a lot of co-op with Banzi on Assassin's Creed Unity and a few others.
Yeah, we've got 4 of us already lined up for that and Diablo and The Division and all those sorts of things. Assassin's Creed Unity, that's going to be pretty special.
Yeah, it's great that is. Do you think, we were talking about it before, do you think it's going to be drop-in, drop-out co-op?
I don't think it can be because the way it looks, it's not an open world, it's mission-based. So I think you'd have to be lobbied up and then kick the mission off. But that's just speculation, really, isn't it?
Are they going to be? Do you think they're going to be specific? Yeah, they've already said it's specific missions for co-op. It's not just you join up my single-player game. They kind of have specific, aren't there specific missions for the co-op campaign?
That's the way. Yeah, that's the way they've always done it previously with those sorts of games. That it's actually almost a separate game. I wouldn't be surprised if they do that again. I mean, if you look at Watch Dogs, there is multiplayer stuff to do, but it has no bearing on the main game at all. You can invade other people's games in a very Dark Souls style, but even that, it's seamless and it seems like you're in the same world, but actually it loads a separate world up, and then you play this 2-minute game, and then you get dropped back into your world again.
He's been invading Banzis or vice versa, hasn't he?
Yeah. And yeah, I think it'll be like that. I think it's just going to be something that is similar to, but not related to the main quest.
But yeah, speaking of multiplayer, are there any kind of meets you want to kind of give a mention to that you're kind of planning, or any kind of upcoming meets?
I'm on Battlefield 4 most nights on the Xbox One. My gamer handle is, as with everything else, Hooksan, HOOKSAN. We play on hardcore, but if anyone wants to pop in, then welcome to. And we're starting up a Titanfall meet every Friday night. That's a GamerKitten thing from GamerKitten.com. So anyone's welcome to that. That's very open. It's just private lobbies, and we just get together, have a laugh, get drunk, and shoot each other in large robots.
It's a good laugh. There's always something for everyone on GamerKitten, and you've just joined, haven't you, Liam?
Yeah, I joined Friday.
Get involved. And obviously we've got a forum as well as have Xbox Mad.
We do.
So get involved in all, because there'll be something for everyone in each. Are there any upcoming reviews you've got, Liam, and Dave as well for each sites?
I've got Mario Kart review, and there was one more, but I can't remember.
Surprise us, keep us in suspense.
Yeah. Okay.
We've got a few bits and bobs. We've got UFC and a couple of indie titles because we're just in with Press Play and stuff now. But we're mainly trying to actually, because we're a relatively new site, we're trying to get our back catalogue up. There's going to be some very boring old reviews just to make sure we've got everything
No,
covered before
people
the
want to
influx
see
comes
about
in.
old games, especially with like games with gold and things like that.
Exactly, yeah. Which is why I ended up doing the Max one that came out last week, Max and the Curse of the Brotherhood, because that's now games with gold, and I would recommend anyone pick that up because it's gorgeous and tons of fun.
Nice. And like I said, pick up Charlie Murder. You need to pick that up, Alex. Yeah, so you're in, and I believe you two are in the middle of a move at the minute. Tegs, Alex.
We are, which means we're console free for the time being. It's really
For like
awful.
2 weeks. Yeah.
2 weeks without any of our consoles.
And you also met a guy the other night who was you kind of scared him away to London, didn't you? You'd only met him a few hours and
I know!
Oh, yeah.
We literally met him that night. He popped round to say goodbye, and we ended up
It was
speaking to him.
interesting speaking to him though, yeah.
But it was incredible because he's only here because his friend's sort of our housemate. We just found out his friend's
He's like
kind of an indie game developer,
Yeah, he's an indie game developer living like right below us.
and we never knew.
Didn't know that.
No.
And he's setting up like an entire printing press, isn't he, in
Yeah,
India?
in India, and we were like, what?
It's really weird.
We're like, why did you not come up
There
and
was some
just
interesting stuff there.
having gaming session with us? It was like, oh.
You'll have to explain to Hooks on what an indie game is.
Yeah, I really do need to get more into the
He's sat
indie
there,
scene.
he's thrown like the guy in the front of Far Cry 4.
On a pile of AAA titles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From-
I haven't given the indie games the respect they deserve. Although, if you've ever played One Finger Death Punch, that's the first game that started getting my attention for indie titles. 'Cause that's
Is that a game you play with Pippa?
I think if it's Death Punch, you're doing it wrong. But no, it's actually on the Xbox 360 indie slots, and it's only like 70p or something.
Yeah,
And it's so much fun. It's
Nice.
just a timing type beat 'em up, but
I think you should
very
check
silly.
out your friends as well. That's hilarious. And Mike's always pushes Luna Panda. That's kind of got an old school vibe to it. It's like Solar Jetman and Lunar Lander.
Yeah, that's on your front page at the moment on CrazY Horse, isn't it? I saw that
Yeah.
on the top right.
Yeah, Mount Your Friends is brilliant. That's such a good laugh. But what was the indie title again you mentioned?
Mine, One Finger Death Punch.
Your Death Punch, right. I'll dare I download that. I'll give that a try. Go on the trial.
If you're bothered, in fact, outside Xbox, if you go into their long-seeded history, they're the ones that got me onto it because they've done a Let's Play, so you can even check it out before you play it if you want to
Nice.
on their YouTube.
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely do that. Yeah, like I say, we should do some co-op on Charlie Murder. Are there any other kind of co-op? We should get, maybe get back on GTA Online. Obviously, I know a lot of people are kind of be holding off until
Next
the
gen.
next gen versions. Yeah. You're gonna get it again, Liam.
Yeah, I've tried not to play it online on the PS3 version, so I'm gonna wait for next gen to get into that.
Which one are you gonna get though?
Probably the Xbox One. Just to justify paying for Xbox Live. So.
The license thing though is as Huxan mentioned, it's great that no, you're not licensed to one account. But does yeah, that was another question actually about that. Say if your gold runs out, on the Xbox 360, your arcade games become trials when it becomes free.
They don't when they're licensed to your 360.
Oh yeah, I'd thought that, but so is not that the same going to happen the same on the Xbox One?
It works a bit differently with the Xbox One because instead of having a console associated, you've got a home console for your account, but that's very negligible. What it is your account is now in the cloud, which is Microsoft's great big new thing.
Yeah.
That account can move anywhere. I can go to anyone's house and sign in my account onto their Xbox One and immediately play any of my games right there and then. I'd have to download them, obviously, but I would have immediate access to my entire library. If I took my hard drive round with the games on it, I could play them straight away as soon as I sign in on their Xbox. But the downside of that is, if your Xbox license expires, if your Xbox Gold expires, because they've changed games with Gold now, it's now like PlayStation Plus. So whereas before you owned the game to keep forever, now you're only borrowing it. And if you lapse your Xbox Live, you lose any games you downloaded free from games with Gold.
So it's not like PlayStation Plus. Whoa.
Well, PlayStation Plus is the same in that you borrow the games, but if you finish your PlayStation Plus, you lose the games. It's the same system now. It's just borrowing them instead of owning them now.
When you re-download them when you get your PlayStation Plus back on, yeah.
But unfortunately, because the same ones won't be listed, because you could have 3 years worth of catalogue, and then if you lose it, you'll only be able to get the 5 that are up there this month.
Really? I thought, all right, because Liam said a few months back, that with PlayStation Plus, you can actually re-download the titles that you've had before.
I might be wrong, but that's not my understanding. But Liam could well have the right way of it.
Yeah, because I on my PS Vita, I've only got a 2 gig card, so I download them on my PS4, and then when I want to delete a game off, I just re-download it on the Vita.
Yeah, but that's because you've kept your PS Plus
Yeah.
up. If you'd let your PS Plus lapse,
yeah.
you wouldn't have been able to do that.
No.
All right, that's what
keep
we're
your
understanding,
subscription,
right?
Yeah.
But that's what I mean is so Hook sounds right, Liam. You lose your game forever. You can't re-download it at a later date when you reactivate your PlayStation Plus
or your Xbox Live, just to keep it fair and even.
That's a shame, that, because
it is a shame.
Is that just on the Xbox One? Yeah, because I mean on Xbox 360 you get to keep your game even on Xbox Live free.
Yeah, it's I think they're planning on changing it all over, but they've only done the Xbox One so far, but it's also coming with a lot of new bonuses and stuff. Like they've got a game cheap or 2 games cheap every month now and stuff. I got Forza last month for £20 digital.
Nice.
Tomb Raider's £20 this month.
Yeah, that's Tomb Raider, Strider, and I can't remember what else is. Yeah, that's half 50% off. Yeah.
So it's nice to get those as well to get the extra benefits. But the downside is you're not getting licenses to keep anymore.
So that's the only thing about digital gaming. It's it's going to kill shops like Game. And you won't be able to. I mean, I've always thought maybe like an online trading system. Do you think that'd ever work in the future, guys?
AC Bongos has been talking about something like that, where they're looking into whether you'll be able to rent games or not. Where you can, they've looked at 2 models where you either pay a monthly subscription, and that allows you to download 1 game from a library at a time. If you download a new one, it deletes the old one. Or that you can do it per game instead, so that you pay, say, £2 for a game and you get to keep it for 48 hours.
Yeah.
And then the license expires.
I'd say they're looking into that. Better. Like Blockbuster used to do, yeah.
And so that they are looking at those sort of things in terms of renting games, about trading them in. They keep saying we are looking at ways of trading in digital. I can't imagine any way that'd work, because it's digital information. So all you're basically saying is, I agree to delete this if you give me a tenner. Why would you? It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, take away your license to use it or something like that. That's the only way they could.
But what's in it for them? Do you see what I mean? That's not a trade-in anymore. It's not like they can sell that on whether or not they pay you for it. So.
Yeah, because they can't sell your license. I mean, the only way you could do that is if you sell your console. Yeah. It's like DLC and things like that. Things you've downloaded, non-refundable. It's a shame. I've always liked what I know. Obviously, it put people off not buying a game. It hold off, but I've always thought with Major Nelson, for example, when he announces kind of games with gold, I've always thought maybe. Obviously, Microsoft don't know until the last minute, but I've always thought maybe like Deal of the Week. I'd love for them to announce what's going to happen in Deal of the Week and Game of the Gold for that month ahead, because then at least you know. Because it's a shame you get people who buy a game for £20 and then a week after it's in the Deal of the Week, and you're like, it must annoy you, to do that. it's a shame that they
Unfortunately,
don't
that's
announce
probably
it.
just hit the nail on the head as to why they won't announce it.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah, how many people would turn around and go, "Oh, that's coming out in June, July, August. I won't bother buying it just now."
yeah, but then they'd still, they'd still make some profit because if you think about it, yeah, Game aren't going to make the profit. Microsoft will though. If the more people that would buy it half price, they'd still, they'd get more and more people interested. But
Well,
sorry.
they are going to be looking for ways to get rid of secondhand gaming anyway. I wrote a piece on this recently, which is on Gamerkit and on Xbox.
Yeah,
Live,
I
funny
remember
enough.
reading that blog.
I'm afraid it's a bit of an opus, that one, but it's the damage that secondhand gaming is doing, because you can take a game and that one copy of the game, it gets bought firsthand, and the developers, the producers, everyone get money for it. But then it can be traded 11, 12 times, and the only person that gets any money out of that is Game or Amazon or wherever you're trading it in. And it's that sort of problem. It's very short-sighted of a shop like Game not to share that profit back.
And
it's why they tried to do the licenses, and that's why they're doing DRM. It's yeah.
No, I mean, we've touched upon it before. It's disgusting how you could buy a game, say, I don't know, the World Cup FIFA game while the World Cup's on at the minute, just an example. You could buy that now, and it's, about £40 at the minute? It'll probably drop down in price dramatically in August when the World Cup's, July when the World Cup's finished, but you'll see it in August for like 20 quid. But you could buy that World Cup game now. Say you buy it on the Friday and you finish it over the weekend, you've won the World Cup, you've done everything else. You take that bit back in on the Monday, just an example, and you want to trade it, you get what, £22, and you've lost, in the space of 2 days, you've lost £18 on a game. That is disgusting. And then they'll put that game back on the shelf for £35, £36 pre-owned.
And then they'll still push it at the counter. I'm afraid I got into one of those really knobby arguments. It's just when you realise afterwards it was probably you that was in the wrong. But some guy at Game was pushing a little too hard. We've got a pre-owned copy of that. Do you want it? I said, no, I'm happy with that version. He's like, no, you can save £5 if you get it secondhand. I just turned around, no, I'd rather pay the people that actually made it, if that's all right. But they don't really see how short-sighted it is. They're going to put themselves out of jobs doing it in the long run. But
yeah, but it's kind of like when you got Poundland, they'll go, do you want a packet of sweets for £1? I'm like, no, I would have bought some. Yeah, but I know what you mean. And sometimes as well, I mean, Game are great. I'm not going to insult them in any way, but the thing is, I'll admit, sometimes their pricing structure is a bit weird. Like, it's happened for a long time, the pre-owned games, you can go in and you can see a pre-owned game and it's like
£38.
It's £38.
Yeah.
And then you'll see the new copy for what, £35? And you're like, what? How does that work? How is the pre-owned copy dearer than? Obviously, it's because, like Dave said, obviously they make more money then than the developer does. But it just doesn't. I don't see the logic. Well, obviously I do, but I mean, I just kind of. It just looks stupid. It looks daft to have that. Nobody's going to buy a pre-owned copy for more. You get the new copy, you get it sealed, and things like that. You get a pre-owned copy, you get it back. Like CEX, do you guys ever shop at CEX? I know they pronounce sex, but I can't call it that. Do you ever go in?
no, on principle I don't, because I don't support second-hand gaming. So that's all.
Every day, like every day.
I do go in there, but I tend to now look for like much older games that one aren't available digitally, or at least not legally, or are
just too old to find in the
or just too old to find in game, like original Xbox games, PlayStation 2 games.
Yeah.
That's so different though.
Yeah, but that's very much different.
I'll tell you what though, their Blu-ray prices are amazing. You can get like decent Blu-ray prices for like decent Blu-ray films for like what, £6-7 quid, £8. Games as well. Yeah, some of the games are a bit expensive. The pricing's a bit off in the for like Xbox, even like Xbox 360 games. But yeah, the places stink as well sometimes in the, like some of them they do, and the staff's attitude. Sometimes you get the odd knobhead member of staff, but you get that everywhere really.
I have definitely seen that in other CXs, but we've been quite lucky with this one.
The one in
It's quite
Sheffield's
nice.
actually quite a nice
Actually, really
one.
lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, I think also but I can sometimes see why people go for second-hand games though, because some of the games they have in there are ridiculously cheap, like compared to even what game sells them at second hand, like
Yeah.
it's a lot cheaper.
I can understand from a
Right.
kid's point of view, like from a kid just starting out in gaming, hasn't got much money, just got his allowance and stuff. I can see it quite benefits
Well,
them,
sometimes you see like a
obviously.
game for 20 quid in one shop, and then like CEX will have it for like 7 quid. It's kind
Yeah.
of like, okay.
And I love
So I
about
can see it from that point of view, but then if the money doesn't go to the developers, you are essentially damaging developers, which isn't good. Very good
especially if
either.
it's a smaller game, yeah, you kind of
Hmm.
like. I mean, but one of the great things about CX as well is you can go on the website and check if they have it in stock, so it's not a wasted journey.
Yeah,
Mm.
I just think more of a balance needs to be found between like pleasing consumers and helping developers. Secondhand's just help consumers.
Yeah,
But they're really
like
expensive
Yeah,
games.
there has to.
like,
But
just
there
help
again, isn't
developers.
that's what online passes should have been?
That's
Except
what
it
it
didn't
should
work
be, but
properly.
yeah,
Because what should have happened was Game and CEX should have sold the game for half the price. Then you take that they sell it for now, and then you pay an extra tenner. But so you'd still pay the same as you would if you bought it from Game. Now
Yeah.
the only difference is you're paying half of it to the people that made it and half to the shop. The shops kept them at the same price and blamed the companies, and it never worked out.
yeah, no, just kind of got scrapped, but that should work as you said, and would actually kind of find that balance, but it just didn't work.
But the problem is there's too many people that want it both ways. Like you look at
Mm.
Criterion Games, for example. A couple of great boys from Guildford. They've never made a bad game. Every
Mm.
game they made got a really good review. They all sold all right and everything, but those guys got bought out by EA, and then now everyone will complain that they're with a big company that will take advantage of them, churn the games out, lower the quality, all the criticisms you always hear. It's like, well, yeah, they had to sell out. They weren't making enough money from their game sales because everyone was buying them second hand.
Mm.
So you can't have it both ways, unfortunately.
But I suppose kind of like digital distribution does kind of solve that, not for game, but for consumers and developers, it kind of does help because. Well, I think most of the money, like, I'm not sure actually what the percentage is when you buy a game through Steam, how much goes to Steam and how much goes to developers. But I suppose it gets more than, at least it's not second hand, so every copy sold through that is going to the developers.
Yeah,
Again,
but then of course it's kicking the consumers because
but
they can't
yeah,
trade it in, they can't lend it, it's got less value to them.
yeah. But but from my personal point of view, I barely trade anything in ever. I always keep everything I buy, so
Mm.
I am happy with digital.
Yeah, I like digital. It's just so much more. I've got so lazy now, especially with the Connect voice commands, that I'm actually like, oh, I've got to change the disc. Oh, I wish I had it on digital.
Mm. Well, there's some great there's great bargains as well when you kind of you go online, like Max Payne 3, you just got rid of it recently, but I want to get it back again. £3, it's like deal of the week at the minute. It's like less than £4. It's the deals at the minute. They're so cheap. You could go to, I don't know, Game, for example, and I don't know, it's £4 on there, and you go to Game and it's like £8, and you're like, what? It's cheaper. You can go on Xbox Live and it's cheaper there sometimes. Yeah, the games on demand, as we said, they need to sort the pricing out. But yeah, digitals, it is the future. It's just it's going to take a while yet before it's going to kill off the used game industry.
Yeah, definitely.
Even quietly.
No, just that. You know how I feel about getting rid of retail games. So
I'm with you though.
yeah.
Yeah, I miss going into a shop like CX or Game. You know, yeah, it's gonna spawn basically, you know, couch potatoes. Everyone's just gonna become so reliant on everything and on digital and like Huxan said about Connect, and it's like it's great, but you don't want to forget, you know, yeah, it's annoying having to keep getting up and changing the disc, but you miss that, you know, you won't get that with digital. It's a shame. Like you say, walking into a shop, people are gonna lose their jobs at the end of the day. You know, even if it's just some kid who's graduated from college, you know, and he's looking for a summer job just while he's paying for you know, he's earning money for uni or while he's at uni, he's not going to be able to get a job because he's not going to be able to work for Microsoft for at least another 5 years or even 10, 15 years or something like that. He's going to want a summer job. He loves his video games and he really wants to work at game, but he can't because games are shut because Microsoft have basically gone, oh no, we're not releasing any more games on disc. And it's a shame. It's like you walk around town centres now. It doesn't matter. Even in places like Manchester and places like that, there are shops shutting left, right, and centre.
And it's not
because
it's
of
not
online
even just
shopping.
the games ones. It's everything. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're absolutely
yeah.
right.
Online shopping is so cheap. Amazon, it's like Blockbuster. We've talked about it in the past. It's a shame, Blockbuster were a great company, but the pricing was, they didn't keep, they had the chance to buy Netflix and they didn't.
Which was just the biggest mistake ever.
Yeah, and they just use the old bricks and mortar. Same with HMV. So yeah, obviously, HMV should have got there before iTunes did, before Apple did. Sorry, with iTunes. And game shops do need to sort out the pricing. I mean, you can get some bargains in there, but it's very rare. You have to, not everybody's going to want to sift through go look behind all the other games and look through every single game for a bargain. They need to kind of make it stand out. You get the odd sales, but sometimes you kind of look at the digital prices of that and you'll find it's kind of a mixed bag. Sometimes the digital games are cheaper. Sometimes the games in the shops are cheaper. But yeah, and HMV are the same and things like, it's not just for entertainment, like you say, even clothes online now and things like that, even online shopping, like Tesco, Asda, etc. It's cheaper online. But obviously online they don't have to pay the overheads and things like that. It's a shame. Yeah, I missed going into a shop and buying a game, and I used to love that as a kid. We could all, I know you love your Kinect, and I know you love, your digital gaming, which is understandable. It's the future, but you've got to admit, when you kind of maybe got your first job or when you finished school, you must have loved going into a shop and getting a game, pulling it out of its bag and looking at it, at the back of the case.
I still remember 11-year-old. That was my 11th birthday, being taken to the local independent game shop, and I bought a Mega Drive. They're showing my age there, by the way. But and I got a Mega Drive off the shelf, and they were brand new out. They'd only been out like weeks at that point, and the sheer joy and excitement I can still remember 23 years on.
And you're gonna miss that. You will miss it. You don't know what you've got till it's gone.
No, definitely. And the banter as well. You can always have great banter in game shops.
You get some kind of obsessed nerds who always hang around in there as well, but kind of by the counter, Liam. Yeah, Liam's the one they can't get rid of. It's kind of they have to use like deodorant to get rid of him.
Squirt me with it.
Yeah. And he just goes to the other side at shop. I admit though, I do. I appreciate good customer service, but when you're kind of in a shop and you're just browsing, sometimes it can put you off. Not just in game shops. When people come up to you, you feel pressurized when they're like, "Do you need help with that? Do you need help with anything? You all right? How are you?" Kind of thing. You're like, you feel bad for turning them down because they're kind of looking for something to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a mixed bag. It's going to be a while yet before it kills off the used game industry.
Well, I mean, that's essentially what tried to happen with the Xbox One. That was their original plan, wasn't it? All digital, always online, DRM.
Yeah.
Look what happened.
If they'd have kept that, they would not have sold as many consoles, even if brand loyalty had been there.
They were hit from both sides because all the consumers basically made it, to say it euphemistically, made it clear they weren't ready for it. And all the shops from the other side were turning around and going, this is much more off the record, but they were turning around and saying, if you carry on with this rubbish, we're going to put your console right at the back in the corner and we're going to put the PS4 right in the front window. So that's up to you. But they're going to get market dominance on the high street. Everyone that walks past our shop, they're only going to see the PS4. That's up to you. How do you want to play it? And that's why Microsoft had to back down so suddenly.
Yeah, had no choice. Yeah, because what was the original policy? Now, what was it? Was it something like you had to pay? Or was it? You can only you can only exclusively download that to your console. You
I
couldn't
think you had to
trade
be
in the disc.
connected. You had to
Yeah,
connect your Xbox.
online all time. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
If
was-
you bought
right,
that game.
That's all the rumours that went round. The
Yeah.
actual policy was your console had to check online once a day
Yeah.
to check, but you could even do that from a mobile phone to check that you had the licenses. It was digital only, but you had a share library that you could share with 9
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
So you and 9 friends could own all the games between you, and that's now been reduced to 2, and that's digital only. So it wasn't great, but it wasn't as bad as everyone thought it was.
No,
But
that's
it's 'cause
understandable. With
their PR
two,
was just
yeah.
appalling. That's why. That's why those rumors were Microsoft's fault, not anybody else's.
Because that old story of the old rumor of you could only download that game to your console, that was it. That would have killed off. People wouldn't have been able to trade the games in, things like that. Yeah. I mean, it's I think I can see from Microsoft's point of view, that's a good idea having it only two licenses. You can only play that game between two of you because it's saving them money. You're still getting something, if you trade it, if you give it to 9 of your friends, that's what, 7 sales really they've lost.
Mm. But I mean, bear in mind, it's not 2 consoles either. It is 2 accounts. So I can now take that game anywhere else and still play it there, which is a nice touch. It kind of makes up a bit for the fact that the game has no resale value or no trade-in value or anything, but it still should be 20% cheaper, at least, make up that gap.
That you mean just on digital?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what is the pricing like for the digital on the Xbox One?
Expensive.
Appalling.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, even games that are on Amazon hard copy for like 45 quid are still 55 or 60 on Xbox One.
Jesus, because like I said, they're selling Xbox 360 games on there for $49.99. Like I say, like Black Flag was 50 quid I checked a few months back. I was like, £50. Christ. You pick it up for like 25 quid in the shop now. 20 quid. That's
the only good thing is that they do these sales, like I was saying earlier. But that's still the exception, not the rule. Every game should be, say, 30 quid, not one game a month being 20.
Yeah. Something you got to wait. I mean, because then, you're not always guaranteed. It's like a multiplayer game. We're talking about kind of Alex, like you mentioned before, about the servers being shut down. You're going to hold back now because you worry about, you don't want to buy a game. Like I was reading one of the comments on Xbox Achievements. They were talking when they had on the Deal of the Week thread. And it was topic, sorry. And on the messages, is one of them had wrote, I just bought Tomb Raider Definitive Edition last week and now it's 50% off. And the people that's the only worry, is you don't want to hold off too long because you kind of think you're losing out. Like if I got Titanfall now, you'd all be so much better. And if you hold off too long, the servers, you worry about buying it because then you think, oh, what happens if it's going to be on sale in the next week, or if it's going to be in games with gold next month, but then you kind of also think, well, if I hold off, will the servers be shut down? What will happen? Will the online community, will people still be playing it in 6 months? And things like that. Can I hold off waiting to get it for Christmas or birthday or something like that? Yeah. It's a bit of a fine line, yeah. It's made people cautious, like games with gold and these deal of the weeks and things. And like you say, the online pricing as well. Are they the same size as the discs or the digital games?
About 40 gig for the new ones. A new AAA title on the Xbox One averages at 40 gig. Yeah. But don't forget, on both PlayStation and Xbox One, you have to install them whether they're on disc or whether you get them digitally now. So the size isn't actually an issue. Because either way, that game is going to take up the same amount of space on your hard disk.
Whoa. That's why
it's
better getting a bigger hard drive, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I've gone for the 4 terabyte jobby. And it loads faster because everything's loading off the internal hard drive at once. Everything that's going on in that console is reading to some extent off that internal. But only the game's coming off the external. So actually the loading times are halved, which is weird. There you go.
Nice. I'm
Mm.
definitely going to get one because obviously everybody's on it, and it's just that's the great thing. I mean, a lot of people have got it, I think, because they've spent so long building up the gamer score, and they've got not because of the gamer score, because of like sites like GamerKit and great community. People have got an Xbox One because everybody else has got one as well, because it's kind of everybody knows people. Like you say, you've got your Banzi, Phil, Demo, etc., who all play the certain games. So people you've got people who've all got Xbox Ones,
Yeah.
So and you're a multiplayer player, like you've mentioned, Garden Warfare, Titanfall, Battlefield, and loads of people who are playing that. So I think it does come down to a lot of it is brand loyalty now.
In all honesty, even I love all the extra multimedia things that the Xbox
Mm.
One does. Owning both consoles, it is definitely my favourite. But it really, if I was going to be completely honest, there's some great exclusives on the Xbox, but not enough to be a deal breaker. It really just comes down to A, which controller you prefer, and B, which one your friends have got.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's too early to call though at the minute. You can't say. There could be something Sony next year could absolutely blow Microsoft out of the water. We don't know.
Absolutely.
But, it is a great. It's people give it stick because it's become a multimedia console as well. But like you say, it offers something for everybody. It still plays games. It's still got games at the forefront. If the games were suffering, then Microsoft would deserve the stick, but they're not. They haven't forgotten the roots. It's just they're kind of catering to everybody,
Yeah.
and you obviously you're married, you've got, and you and Pippa, you don't just, you could just, instead of having to pay for Sky, you could just go on and watch a film now, yeah, and things like that. It's become more accessible as well. Yeah, you don't need, and plus it takes up less space, instead of having just a Sky box or a free, and then you've got your Blu-ray player as well and your cabinet and etc. You could just do all that in your Xbox One, for example. Yeah, it takes up less room. It looks nicer. It's all in one. Yeah.
It sounds like a vomit-inducing advert for Microsoft, but genuinely, all of our evenings begin with the words Xbox on now. It's just crazy.
Nice. Do you use it a lot with your girlfriend, Liam?
No. She rarely plays games. She's boring.
But what about for TV or films or anything like that?
No, she won't use it. She
Wow.
no. She's simple, just likes to watch telly.
Oh, she likes the soaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I need to learn Hooksan's ways because obviously the missus doesn't like games either. She'll play like Viva Pinata and that's it, or Toy Story
Whereas
3.
at the moment, my wife's toying between finding the last 2 feathers on Assassin's Creed 2 or finishing Dragon Age Origins.
Still though, she's starting. She's not as hardcore as you as Pippa, but yeah, she's still
getting
interested. Yeah, I mean, it's the fact that she's looking for all the feathers.
Yeah, exactly.
That's,
And the fact she's
you know.
got 98 of the things already.
Jeez, we were talking about that this morning before. It was like with Assassin's Creed. It's one of them. It's a bit of a chore, a bit of a grind, looking for every single feather and flag, etc.
I like it though. It kind of rewards you for being adventurous.
It does. I mean, some
Yeah.
games like Tomb Raider was like that. That was great to collect all the collectibles.
Yeah.
Rise of the Tomb Raider, yeah, that's looking good as well. Is it Rise of the Tomb Raider?
Yep.
Yeah. The first one was amazing. Did you play that on the 360 or did you get that, Dave?
I got it on the Xbox One, and I didn't pick it up till it was in one of these sales, and I'm so glad I did because it was amazing. I've never been a big Tomb Raider fan, but that game just was outstanding. I'm really looking forward to the new one.
Whoa, I'm just reading on. Yeah, I've heard not heard. Sorry, I played it at a friend's. It does. It's not just a port, is it? It's beautiful on the Xbox One. Oh, Liam, you like your football as well, don't you? Have you heard about Spain?
Yeah, I'm watching it now.
Oh
They're
yeah, not
practically
too.
out, aren't
Yeah, Jesus. Have you all been watching the World Cup? I know you're not all massive football fans, but it's still even non-football fans get caught up in it.
I mean, I haven't been watching any at all except Monday night.
When we watched, was it Germany
Germany,
versus
Portugal.
Portugal?
Yeah.
That's it.
That
Yeah.
was good. Other than that, no, we don't really watch it.
Not
much.
even England.
No, not even England. No. Well, we've got no TV. I mean,
Ah.
we need a building.
It's an excuse to go to the pub. What about you and Pippa?
No, we'd rather cut our own wrists. I think we tend to
Mm.
play games or what we tend to bulk watch TV shows. So we've just finished Warehouse 13, and now we're back onto the season 3 of Game of Thrones and Castle, all that sort of thing.
Nice. What are you watching, Liam?
What's I watching there? Oh, I just watch WWE Network every now and then. About it, really. But
When is
oh,
what's it called? Is it next Sunday? The Money in the Bank.
Sunday after, I think.
Yeah, that's what I mean. A week on Sunday. Yeah, because they've just announced another Money in the Bank ladder match for the briefcase. Ooh, you're an iPhone player, aren't you, Huxan?
No, I've got a Windows phone.
Oh, yeah.
Shockingly enough.
Oh, nobody else here is an iOS player. Everybody, Apple aren't popular in terms of like proper kind of hardcore mobile owners.
iPhone's
No,
crap.
I think people either want to be able to completely bespoke their own setup, and so they get an Android, or Windows is just becoming more and more popular every month at the moment because they finally started getting it right. So the earlier joke phones they used to make, they're actually decent now. So.
Oh, I like iOS. I know what you mean, though. It's but the iOS it's a good. It's I like the operating system. Obviously, to each their own, but and I mean, Android's got some good Windows. I've never been keen on Windows phones. Do you play a lot of the mobile games on there?
More and
Like the
more I do,
Xbox?
yeah, because they give me achievement points now, which is awesome. That's the main reason I've started playing the games. Is they actually come with achievement points and link into your account.
Yeah, that was one of the things that was gonna swing it for me, but it's kind of I admit I was a bit sheepish and bought not sheepish, but I mean I was a bit of a sheep and bought the Apple. Still got an iOS, it's not an iPhone, but it's just obviously like you say, it's to your personal preference. But yeah, mobile gaming is huge, and it's definitely it's become a big thing, and thanks to games like Angry Birds, etc. But yeah, obviously we've talked a lot about games today, and I'm going to top it off. So does everybody want to say the goodbyes? And it's been obviously I'll get to myself after.
Nobody wants to say bye.
Bye.
Bye from me.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me. I really appreciate you inviting me on today.
Hey, no problem. Maybe again in the future. It's been a pleasure having you. And we'll be checking out more of Xbox Mad and vice versa and everything. Take win, Alex.
Yeah, thank you very much for hosting it
Yeah,
again,
thanks for being
Martin.
on. It was great to meet you, Sam.
Thank you, Angie.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, it's been great.
We'll be checking out those channels that you've been recommending, like Unibandy and stuff like that for sure. So yeah, so thank you. Thanks again, Martin.
Hey, anytime. No, thank you. It's always a pleasure, and we'll have a game soon. We'll play some like Street Fighter and things like that, and we'll do some versus
Tomb Raider.
Thursdays
Tomb Raider will be like free. We'll be the only people in it.
Yeah, no, we'll do some versus Thursdays and let's plays. Yeah, we'll message each other. And obviously, good luck with the move.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let us know when you're back up and running. But all right, well, thanks again for everybody. Appreciate the podcast. It's been a bit of a long one tonight. We're making up for lost time. And we'll keep you updated with more reviews. Obviously the forum, news and everything, Let's Plays versus Thursdays, etc. Take care and thanks for all the support, everybody.
Oh, are we gonna wish Mike a happy birthday? Said quick. It's a late from
Well, a
from Crazy
belated
Horse.
birthday, yeah.
Yes.
By the time this goes out,
Dear.
very belated.
But yeah, hope he's had a good one. Yeah.
All right, well, it's bye from me.
Bye for me.
Bye from me.
Bye from
See
me.
ya. Bye.